Thank you very much. I must say that this, our new national anthem, is really short. And I actually like it. Although I must admit it took me a long time to learn the lyrics. But I thank God I finally did. Okay, without further ado, I would like to invite one who has gathered us here today, a woman par excellence, a woman of timber, caliber, and all the kinds of woods that you know that are special. She is a very hardworking woman with a heart to really bring change. And you will see that with all the REDA conferences that she has hosted for the past, I think the sixth REDA conference, and that is a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, and your hands should not be busy actually, because today I am welcoming the CEO Think Mint Group and the convener of the Real Estate Discussions and Awards 2025 in the person of Mrs. Imelda Usoro Olaoye. You can do better than that. Make her feel special because she is.
Thank you so much, Enifume. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to have everyone here today. I'll just take some protocols. I would like to thank immensely Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, for always accepting our invitation to be the special guest of honor since the 2020 edition of REDA. He's always accepting, for sending his warm wishes through his representative, Barrister Barakat Odunuga Bakare, who is the special advisor to the governor of Lagos State on housing. Thank you so much, Ma, for coming. Dr. Armstrong Umetakan, CEO of Ministry of Finance Incorporated, who will be joining us tomorrow as our keynote speaker. Engineer Dr. Oluyinka Olumide, the Honorable Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Lagos State, is also going to be joining us tomorrow. Honorable Moyosori Adebanjo, Executive Chairman of Onigbongo Local Government, who is also joining us tomorrow. Dr. Olajide Babatunde, SA to the Executive Governor of Lagos State on EGIS and Urban Development. The Permanent Secretary, Office of Physical Planning, Lagos State, Engineer Olumide Sotire. They will all be joining us tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be full. The permanent, we also have Honorable Ayodeji Joseph, MD CEO, Lagos State Development and Property Corporation, LSDPC. They are partners and they've been partnering with us since 2020. Are very ever supportive partners, ably represented by Prince Adeni Aromolaron, the Executive Director, Enterprise Services Directorate, LSDPC. Our esteemed panelists here and speakers for honoring our invitation. We also have here Dr. Henry, the Executive Director of Family Home Funds, who is also here, flew in from Abuja. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our invitation to speak at this year's edition of the Real Estate Discussions and Awards. It gives me great pleasure to extend to everyone a warm welcome again to the first day of the conference. It is gratifying to know that the agenda of this conference is to discuss preferred solutions to current real estate issues, as well as celebrate excellence amongst real estate stakeholders by giving them the opportunity to gain valuable exposure and well-deserved recognition for their national and global achievements in the real estate sector through the REDA Awards that will be holding tomorrow. This edition has been themed back to the basics, the future of real estate, with a major focus on identifying funding gaps, especially opportunities, as well as strategies to better position the real estate sector in Nigeria. It will spotlight crucial conversations on funding, affordability, technology, and sustainability, giving attendees real insight into where the industry is headed in 2026 and beyond. We would like to use this medium to once again encourage us to think outside the box, explore innovative solutions, and connect with like-minded individuals and organizations by coming together and pooling resources, knowledge, and expertise. We can adapt, thrive, and create a brighter future for the real estate sector. It's an exciting opportunity to explore uncharted territories and forge new paths in this dynamic world and the new era of solving problems. So let's embrace this theme on learn, and relearn the fundamentals of a booming real estate economy. During the course of this conference, we would acknowledge and celebrate excellence amongst Nigerian real estate stakeholders and leaders through the REDA Awards. In a special manner, I would like to publicly praise our participating brands. Thank you so much for supporting us for this event and making this year's event successful. Think Meets Nigeria is a one-stop digital-inspired firm that counsels businesses and organizations on their key strategic issues, leveraging our deep industry expertise and analytical rigor to help them manage the toughest and most critical business problems, ranging from sales, marketing, project management, with a focus on the real estate industry. I'm pleased to declare the conference open. It will be our wish that you enjoy this conference and take back with you the experiences, contributions, and happy memories of the real estate discussions and awards. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that warm welcome address. I'm sure we can all now know that we're in for a beautiful 2 days. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to invite His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, in the person of Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by Barrister Barakat Odunuga, the Special Advisor to the Governor of Lagos State on Housing. Please, with a warm round of applause, let's receive her as she comes up to the stage. Thank you very much, Ma, for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You may sit, please. Good morning, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Would have loved to be here for longer, but it's unfortunate that we have other places to be at, so that's why I have to rush my speech and leave. It's usually just always a pleasure to be here. I think I've been to 3 as well, so this is my 3rd REDA Awards that I'm coming to. So I think I'm becoming a veteran at attending as well too. But today I've come in the capacity of representing the Executive Governor of Lagos State, who is unavoidably absent. He's at Lasso at the moment, doing a commissioning of a library. So it's a pleasure to stand before you today at the Real Estate Discussions and Awards, where industry leaders, innovators, and professionals have come together to reflect on the fundamentals that shape our sector. The theme, Back to the Basics, the future of real estate, is both timely and appropriate, reminding us to secure the future of real estate. We must first strengthen the very foundations on which it stands. Going back to the basics means returning the future values that make real estate meaningful: integrity, transparency, quality, and sustainability. It is about doing things right, ensuring fairness in all deals, and building homes that are safe, durable, and people-centered. It also means protecting our environment and planning responsibly so that every development adds real value to our communities. In essence, it is about building not just structures, but trust, comfort, and a better future for all Lagosians. In Lagos, real estate is not just about buildings. It's about people, families who need homes, youth who dream of owning a place of their own, and investors who believe in the growth of our state. But for the industry to grow well, we must go back to the basics: proper planning, honesty in transactions, and respect for regulations. These are the foundations that make real estate strong and sustainable. Our administration understands that housing is a basic need. That's why we have continued to invest in affordable housing schemes across the state, from Igbogo to Ibeshi in Ikorodu, from Lekki, Shangotedo to Ego, and so many other places. We commissioned the Badagry about a week ago, and it consists of about 420 units. So we are delivering homes for the people of Lagos State. We are also working through the Lagos State Real Estate Regulatory Authority, RERA, to protect buyers, tenants, and investors from fraud and to make property transactions transparent and safe. In Lagos, our vision is very clear: to create a housing ecosystem that works for everyone. But to achieve this, we must focus on the fundamental proper land documentations which I always advocate for everywhere I speak. Fair regulations, skilled manpower, and affordable housing solutions. Without taking these basics importantly, the future of real estate is very shaky. No matter how tall our buildings stand, we must always go back to the basics. Furthermore, technology is now a vital part of the basics we must fully embrace. By using data, digital platforms, and innovative tools, we can make real estate planning, sales, and projects delivery faster, smarter, and more transparent. The future of this industry belongs to those who can combine modern technology with timeless values, efficiency with integrity, innovation with trust, and progress with purpose. I want to congratulate all the awardees of today's event. Your excellence, creativity, and professionalism are not just commendable, they are examples of what happens when passion meets purpose. You remind us that success in real estate is built on strong foundations and on a vision for tomorrow. Congratulations once again to all the awardees, and thank you all for your commitment to building a better, stronger, and more sustainable Lagos. Igbega Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you also to our amiable governor, His Excellency Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State. Okay, without further ado, we're moving on to the next. We have someone I'll call a veteran. Well, some of you saw him raising his hand. He's attended 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is actually representing the Honorable Chairman of LSDPC, Mr. Ayodeji Joseph. The person I'm about to call right now is coming now to give his opening remarks. He is the person of Prince Adeniyi Aromolaron, the Executive Director, Enterprise Services Directorate, LSDPC. Please, I need you to really give him a round of applause. These are our key partners for 5 years or 6 years in a row. Thank you so much, LSDPC. We appreciate you.
Good morning, everyone. I was on my way to Abuja. I had to reschedule that flight. It's towards the end of the year, so many things to do. MD was meant to have been here, so he called me. He said, "Prince, where are you?" I said, "On my way to the airport." He said, I said, "What is it, MD?" He said, "Think meet." I said he didn't call me this year, so I can go to Abuja. But I've attended every one of your program, and so I come here again today representing myself. It's a joy to always be here and to represent LSDPC as a partner. And most of those times I've come, I've also represented my MD. So it's always a joy to represent him. But I haven't represented him. I'm here in person. I don't know why you haven't given me the independent directorship of your board. All right, so I have a speech prepared, and I will deliver that speech. Again, I want to say, recognizing the protocol, I must recognize my overall boss. So a point of correction, Mr. Governor is our chairman of our board. Honorable, you just did it yourself. He's the managing director, CEO. So let me correct that. And we have 2 EDs in the corporation. So we call him Mr. Sellable, Mr. Housing and everything. And then your Honorable Ma, it's always a pleasure to have you. My sister, my friend, my Babi, is all well. And thank you very much for all of us that are here. Real estate is what we do in LSDPC. Most people don't know, but we don't get a dime from the state. We generate our own income. We pay all our bills. And that is why we can't fully participate like that in social housing. And then when people say your houses are not affordable, we say to those people that if you give us affordable building materials, we will provide affordable housing. So I just needed to drop that. Many people think that we actually get subvention from the government. We get land. We source for our own land. We compete like every other person. But what they don't do is that we return revenue to the state. This year we have a target of 5 billion to return to the state. Yeah. So we are in the market facing all the challenges, but we're getting by just like everybody. And so it's both an honor and a privilege to be here once again at this important gathering for the past 3 years. That's my MD starting his speech. The Lagos State Development and Property Corporation, LSDPC, has proudly participated in the Real Estate Discussion and Awards REDA. This has become a platform for critical dialogue, forward-thinking innovation, and meaningful collaboration in our industry. I commend the consistency and the organizers of REDA. So, Mrs. Imelda Olawoye, congratulations to your team, and congratulations to people like me that have been here from get-go. We will still be here to support. This year's theme, Back to the Basics, the future of real estate, serves as both a reminder and an urgent call to reflect on where we are as an industry and where we are going. As we look ahead, it has become clear that the future of real estate will not be built on ambition alone. Instead, it must be grounded on core principles of integrity, sustainability, accessibility, and resilience. These are not new ideas. These are time-tested values that must now guide us more than ever. At LSDPC, these fundamentals have formed the very foundation of our approach to development. For over 5 decades, indeed LSDPC will be 53 this year, we have remained committed to providing Lagosians with affordable and sustainable housing solutions. From our early work in pioneering residential estates across the state to today's focus on regenerating aging infrastructure and designing smart, inclusive communities, our mission has remained constant to build and create livable, future-ready urban communities. Regeneration has become very paramount for us in the sense that there are families whose parents had massive land estates in the GREs of Ikoyi, Ikeja, and Apapa, who have passed on and who the children are actually struggling with what to do with those landed assets. We have partnered with them to say we can bring it down and we can go up as high as we want, and then we share the units that we generate. So it's become necessary. And then there are other places within Lagos and its environs also that we believe that modern development must be extended to. And so we take up this responsibility to relocate, reassign, and then we regenerate. So it's important that we do that. Yet we're not resting on our legacy. I also must mention that also one of the things that is in the front burner for us is diasporal real estate opportunities for our brothers and sisters. The truth is that for those of us like me who also have lived abroad, who know that home is still the best place to come. No matter what you have out there, home is still the best place. Now that they're even telling us to go home, we better come and put something there. If they haven't told us pointedly, the latest development of the fact that your wife had a baby in the US and you paid, and they're sending you a mail to come back and retrieve your visa. Unfortunately, some of us don't have any visa to retrieve. We already have a green card, so if they want to call it back, then it's too late. But either way, they're telling us, so we are very committed to the diasporal opportunities, and we're pushing that. So we're not resting on our legacy. We continue to look forward. We're embracing innovative financing models and building strategic partnership. At LSDPC, we understand that real estate is not merely about physical structure. It's about creating systems that work, spaces that foster growth, and future that are both equitable and sustainable. I wish to commend the organizers of REDA 2025 for curating yet another space where the real estate community is challenged to think beyond the immediate and plan responsibly for the future. I also extend my congratulations to the speakers, the panelists, and the award recipients. As we engage our next 2 days, I encourage us all to treat this not just as a conference, but as a call to action. Returning to the basics is not a step backwards. It's a strategic return to what matters most. Let us build the future thoughtfully, inclusively, and from the ground up. Thank you, and enjoy your 2 days.
Thank you, sir. Our veteran. At this rate, President General, thank you so much, sir, for that awesome welcome address from the MD CEO, LSDPC. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very happy to hear what LSDPC is doing. I didn't know that LSDPC is older than me, to be honest. I came into Lagos in 1988, and I've been in Lagos since then, and I have not learnt as much as I did about LSDPC that I did in a few minutes. How many of us agree? So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, without further ado, I would like to invite a very special guest in our midst who flew in all the way from Abuja. I'm sure some of you know who we're talking about. He is Dr. Henry Emeka Inego, the Executive Director, Operations, Family Homes Funds, all the way from Abuja. Please make the applause louder. Make it louder. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you, MC. You just made Abuja look like somewhere far away. It's interesting to be in your midst, and I want to thank the organizers for inviting us. And I'll just stand on the existing protocol. And it's my first time, so we're not recognizing those who have done. And I think it's commendable that he's been here for the 6 sessions or 6 times that this program has taken place. And it's a good thing to hear that you've done this number of times. Well done. Thank you again for inviting us as Family Homes Funds. We are government owned. A lot of people do not know what Family Homes Funds is. And so I'll just take a few moments to just share who we are, what we're doing, and what we hope to continue to do. Like I said when I started, Family Homes Funds is an agency of government under the Federal Ministry of Finance, owned by MOFI and the NSIA. What are we set up to do? Basically to provide solution that unlocks real estate. Now, everybody seated here will recognize that, and I like the theme, like she said, and the fact that this is a discussion. You know, what this program is all about is that there is a key problem in this sector: financing. That's the biggest question, from the supply to the demand and everything in between. The financing. So the thought behind setting up Family Homes Funds by the federal government is just to have an agency of government that helps to just find solutions around us. And we've tried in our small and little ways to try to solve these problems and to create solutions. And we have 4 major funds that we have used over the past 6 years to try to attempt to solve this problem. But like I said when I started, the biggest challenge with this whole real estate thing we're talking about is funding and financing generally. The fact that you need to be able to have funding to be able to build the houses and then for the people to offtake the houses. You know, in between and all the things taking place, the value chain, the jobs that is created, the economy and the trade and everything else in between How very interesting. But without the money, you can't build the houses. Without the money, you can't buy the houses. So what have we done at Family Homes Funds? What we have done is that we've developed various carefully crafted products aimed at critical intervention points in the housing value chain, cutting across the residential spectrum. Our products have also received significant interest, as evidenced in the level of interest and successes achieved. Now, we have a major fund called the Affordable Housing Fund, and it will interest you to know that this fund is strictly targeted at public and private entities for the development of housing units across Nigeria. The product has received significant interest from sectors players with the following successes. We've funded 15,000 houses in the past 6 years. A number of states that participated and benefited from funding is 17. Unfortunately, and I say this, unfortunately, the South-South, Southwest, Southeast states are not participating yet. Unfortunately. Now, we all understand the issue with land. That's where the problem begins, is land. Now, because we are government, and like my brother and friend shared earlier, for the Lagos State Property Development Company, they will have to buy. But then we are government. We will not buy. We want to engage with the state government and say, provide the land, we'll provide the funding. But first, the government will have to go settle the indigents. The man who has buried his grandfather in the place will not let go of the land. But in some other parts of Nigeria, they willingly point from here to the end of the road and say, take it, go and build. So it's a problem that we have. I hope that somehow that conversation will come up here. But of course, we are unique in our ways, but we'll have to find solutions to that. Okay, so for the public sector, we've done 11,000 houses, and for the private sector, 600 and counting. And private sector pipeline, we have over 20,000 pipeline projects we're currently looking at. And then we have a second fund called Rental Housing Fund, in recognition of the critical role student hostels and accommodation on campus plays in achieving academic excellence. The rental housing provides long-term finance for the development and management of student hostels within the tertiary institutions environment. Now, till date, we started this last year. We funded the construction of 9,600 bed spaces in 6 states. Now, the program outlay, the national program is to build within now and the next 5 years 38,400 bed spaces. And then we have another program that is also starting in the next 3 months, where we are looking at developing and funding 15,000 bed spaces. Now, the structure of this program is that we're going through SPVs to engage with tertiary institutions and then do a build, operate, and transfer arrangement where these SPVs manage these hostels for a period of 15 years to 21 years. And it's interesting. We all know what the students are going through. You can hardly have enough. I can assure you that if you call that niece, that cousin, that child, that son, that daughter, in whatever school where that person is, there's a gap. And that is what the government has asked us to do in that space. But it will interest you that, of course, supply is important, but offtake is also very, very important. So we have a product called the Help to Own. My colleague who is seated somewhere here will be speaking on that and making a presentation. This is where we help to provide mortgages at single digits. It's an interesting model, and then I'll have Monsira share that. But till date, we've done over 341 mortgages, and then price range for these mortgages range between 5 million to 100 million. And a lot of the states outside the 3 core states are the ones are not taking advantage, but I'm sure she'll talk about that. But the last fund we're looking at rolling out in the next 3 months is called Land and Infrastructure Development Fund. This is the newest fund in Family Homes Fund and is intended to finance development of residential infrastructure at scale to ensure that future housing developments are preceded by solid infrastructure. We understand that once there's infrastructure, the problem is already 80% solved. When you have infrastructure taken care of, even if you don't provide the funding, the individual will begin to build. Put the road, put the electricity, put the water, and then I can assure you the man will find the money. And I've seen situations where people will just come, if it's a terrace duplex, it's just done ground floor, and you park in there, and then sit down there and finish this work. But I want to expect that in this whole conversation throughout these 2 days, that we'll have discussions around these things, and I hope that we can find a solution. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry, for that enlightening speech. We're learning a lot, right? Yes, I know that there are real estate professionals here. Okay, so that was amazing, right? And many of us have learned a lot. Wow, I didn't know that the South South is not participating. I would need to start thinking about that now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about time for the exhibition tour, led by Barrister Barakat Odunaga Bakare, Special Advisor to the Executive Governor of Lagos State on Housing representing. She's representing our able governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the executive governor of Lagos State. Also joining the exhibition tour is Prince Ni Aromolaron, the executive director, Enterprise Services Directorate, LSDPC. Also for the exhibition tour, would like to have our speaker who just spoke, Dr. Henry, Executive Director, Operations, Family Homes Funds, as well as the CEO, ThinkMint Nigeria, Imelda Usoro Olaoye, and the President, FIA BCI Far East Africa, Mr. Adeniji Adele, as well as Mr. Akin Okpatola, President, FIA BCI Nigeria. And please, would like to indulge all our distinguished panelists and speakers to be a part of the exhibition tour as well. And everyone, you are welcome. I'm sure that we all have interest in real estate, and that's why we're here. So please rise as we accompany them for the exhibition tour. Just as you've learned a lot in this short time, you're going to learn so much more as you accompany them for the exhibition tour, so that you can get real solutions to your real estate problems and maximize REDA 2025. So the exhibition tour is for everyone. It's just being led by those that you see in front. But please rise, make the best of this event. There's so much to learn, there's so much to do, there are so many people to meet. So as you do that, also meet people, introduce yourself, network. You heard what Dr. Henry said about housing. You heard what LSDPC said as well. There are houses for you to get. If you're not a homeowner yet, I think this is the event that you are going to become a homeowner. So take advantage of every opportunity that you see here today. Thank you. Can we have some light music, please?
Hey.
Just 4 weeks to do that. Yeah, so that's what Green Mortgage is all about. We help to facilitate mortgage applications. Thank you. Okay, yes. So the percentage right now for the family homes funds is 9%. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Since okay, okay, thank you. Questions. All right, so we do well with the family homes fund and the HEMRIF, it's 9% for the interest rate. Yes, this single digits 9%. Thank you. The volume of loan that's for 100 million naira properties. Yes, yes, sir. With 10% equity. Thank you.
Next person. No, don't worry, I will return it. Take this one for the next person.
Is it? Okay.
So, Brompton City is a 30 hectares space that we're developing. It's along Ogombo Road. Oh, okay. It's along Ogombo Road, and we're doing site and services. We have 3 layers of residential plots and a commercial plot. The commercial plot is facing the major road and is viable for anybody who's going to do any business, be it a shopping mall or a mixed use or maybe shortlets, depending on your appetite. Yes, and then it's just 2 minutes away from the popular school, Charterhouse, and also it's beside 2 minutes away again from Abraham Adesoya. It's a very apt location for anyone who's willing to come into real estate and partner with us. UPDC, we know who we are, but we also want you to come and experience us. We've been in the business for a long time, and whoever's coming to partner with us it's a long life cycle of relationship. We go on with you and with all your children if they still come with us, but we want them to come with us. So we invite you to please come over and join UPDC. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Olaolu Razak. We work with Urban Shelter, a real estate development company established in 1991. And we exist in several regions in Nigeria, Abuja, Kaduna, Niger State, and Lagos State as well. So I'll just run you through a couple of our developments in Lagos. This is our flagship luxury development in Lagos, Urban Shelter Living Oniru. It's a mixed development of 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, 3-bedroom apartments, penthouses, and studios. And we also have townhouses as well with a BQ. And this one right here is our new development. It's a collaboration with LSDPC, Shelter Valley Residences at Ogombo Road. We have 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, and 4-bedroom terrace apartments as well. And we also do commercial developments as well at Agege. This is the redevelopment of the old MK Abiola Market. It's a collaborative project with the local government of Agege. So we're selling 10 square meter shops, 5 square meter shops. We have warehouses, we have a banking hall, and we have mini stores as well. We accommodate every income type, and we're very flexible with our payments. We accept as low as 40%, and our payment duration is very flexible as well. So feel free to ask any follow-up question. Ma? It depends. We can do 2 to 3 years, minimum of 12 months. Yes. So for Agege, Okay, the minimum price for Agege is 7.5 million. That's for the 5 square meter shop. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, it's coming with toilets. It's coming with adequate car parking. There's going to be a banking hall there, adequate security. It's going to be a fully functional, well-developed, modern shopping facility. We're redeveloping the old market. So what we intend to put there is a more modern version of the market. Yes. You're welcome.
So this is funds. Yeah, the earlier where funds we have funds fixed to the gauge which is the demand side of the housing supply. We'll partner with the banks, commercial banks.
Yes, repeat. So that guy is loaded, you know? Yeah, with the new chicks. All that. I know him. I know him very well. Not very well.
It's registrations and health indicators, and also issues relating to real estate tax, helping people understand the entities, the resilience to the product, and also for transparency and also accountability of the sector. This year is back to basics. Like the representative speech to the context we cannot have the corporate real estate sector if we don't do back to basics. I need to show that the foundation is solid. So if the foundation is solid, the same structure will stand firm. And foundation not being just blocks that we put on, it has to do with being accountable, being transparent, being honest, and also putting things right and making sure that you have implementations to structure in place, which I've said in my speech.
So what advice would you give to citizens that want to build or that are looking to like just get a property for themselves? What would you say?
I would advise that you go to a real estate developer, go to a agent registered with the Lagos registered with the Lagos Real Estate Authority as well. And also make sure that you deal with a developer that has all the documentations correct, because the reason why we have those documentations including the laws of the state is because they don't have all the documentation so like to do it. So I'm advising that you do things to do due diligence before you purchase any property from anybody. Thank you. My name is Baraka.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I just got to tell you. Notes. You understand what I'm saying? So I just observe the leader in the school where all these We don't know him. You know him. Yes, I do know him. Why did you send the one that my hand is first? Close to, if not no, the generating. Yeah, I've done my own work. And you know why I did my own work? This issue of people saying, that's it. More commercial sector. So how much is there? Sorry.
I'd like to urge everyone to take pictures. Please take pictures of this event. Use the hashtag REDA 2025 so that we can know that you came and you attended.
Let's take advantage of this opportunity to network, meet people. If you've not gotten up from your seat since the beginning of this event, you are very, very wrong. Very wrong. Because your real estate solution might be sitting right beside you. So take advantage of it. Okay. All right. We're about to move to the next segment on the agenda of REDA 2025. Please, let's settle down. Those taking beautiful pictures, yes, you're very beautiful. Please, can you come forward? We're about to begin the panel session. To start to implement some of the solutions that I have already gotten from this event. It's a very packed event. So may you not be in this, the moderator, who is my fellow civil engineer, Yeah, women, women, women. Yeah, so some of you think it's about the mic I'm holding. I'm a civil engineer, please. Ask Nigeria. But let's move. I'm very happy to introduce our moderator in the person of Peace Adetutu Eze Afulukwe, who is a civil engineer and third generation entrepreneur, passionate about real estate and storytelling. As the founder of Open House, she believes the future is Africa and is dedicated to fostering meaningful dialogue and global visibility around real estate opportunities across the continent. Peace is the voice behind the Real Take newsletter, a monthly series of thought-provoking articles that simplify trends and insights for the modern Afrocentric investor. With 5 years plus experience in construction, communication, and community, Peace is on a mission to make real estate real through events, education, and ecosystems. Her current project, the Modern Spaces Expo, explores how design, technology, and sustainability are shaping the future of homes, offices, and leisure spaces in Africa. A round of applause for the moderator of our first panel, Peace Adetutu Eze Afulukwe, founder, Open House. We're very happy to have you. Okay, next on the panelist, our panelist, I beg your pardon, is Bukumi Ajiboye. Do we have Bukumi here? Okay, please sit. Let me read your profile majestically. Thank you. Bukumi Ajiboye is a proficient product and process manager, orchestrating the shift from conventional business methods to sustainable technology-driven processes. With expertise in product management and process design, he leads the VAMFI team in crafting cost-effective software and ICT solutions for data-driven facility and building management. Bukumi is passionately committed to propelling the property technology PropTech sector forward, championing open integration for improved service delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our panelist, Bukumi Ajiboye, co-founder VAMFI. You may please make your way to the stage now. Thank you. Okay, next on our list is the founder of Good Tenants, Adekunle Jinadu. He is a PropTech strategist and ecosystem builder, an entrepreneur and ecosystem advocate of the forefront of reimagining how real estate works for Africa. As the founder of Good Tenants, he's building infrastructure that unlocks trust, transparency, inclusion, and investment confidence, making real estate a more bankable and efficient asset across Africa. His contributions to Africa's emerging PropTech and wider tech ecosystem have been featured across media platforms, including Business Day, Channels TV, CNN, and he has appeared on industry podcasts on real estate innovation. Kunle's work has been recognized with awards, including Good Tenants' recent recognition as Property Tech Company of the Period by the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors, Lagos. Kunle holds a master's degree in innovation and entrepreneurship from the Nottingham University Business School. And just to mention, if you saw this on your seat, a paper with a code, it actually contains the program of the event, so you can just scan it quickly to see the program of the event, so you can know where I'm reading the profiles from. Thank you. Okay, our last but not least panelist is Ayomide Temitope Alabi. Do we have him here? Signify with a show of hands. Are you here? Okay, great. Ayomide Temitope Alabi serves as the Chief Operations Officer at Domot Technologies, where he's at the forefront of transforming the African real estate landscape through technology. Ayomide's extensive and diverse background with deep expertise in PropTech and the broader Nigerian real estate sector, alongside experience in the hospitality sector, makes him a leading voice in the industry. His career includes a significant tenure as a property manager at Ninth Frank, providing him with a grounded understanding of traditional real estate operations. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to hand over right now to the moderator of this panel. Please let's pay attention because it's going to be an amazing one. Who are they? Not here. Not here. Do you have their profiles? Okay, so we'll be having two more panelists join them later. in the person of the CEO, Think Mint Nigeria, Imelda Usoro Olaoye, and Tolu Lokpe Arobieke. A round of applause for our panelists and our fellow civil engineer moderator.
Thank you very much, Enifome. It's good to finally meet you. Good morning, everyone. Is it still morning? Yes, good morning, everyone. And I'm honored to be moderating this panel. The theme of this year's REDA conference is Back to the Basics, the Future of Real Estate. And like we all know, the basics of real estate is no longer brick and mortar. We are talking data, we're talking analytics, we're talking automation, we're talking smart systems. So tech is the future. It's not just we need to know much about tech, and that is what this panel session is all about. The theme of this panel is revolutionizing property management using technology such as AI, analytics, and automation. And we'll be looking at how these technologies are changing the landscape around the real estate space. So with me are going to be 5 powerful speakers, and we're going to be delving right in. But before we start that, I want to have a feel of the audience. How many of us are techies in the audience? So all them coding, all them tech stuff. If you are a tech person in the audience, please just by the show of hands, raise up your hand, please. Okay, I see a few around the side. Tech people in the audience, please. Right, quite a few, and that is the... Okay, all right, and that is the digital divide we're talking about. Before I proceed, I would like to welcome to the stage the person of Mr. Tolu Lokpe Arobieke, the CEO of Moradia Limited. You're welcome to the stage, sir. Thank you. And Imelda. Okay. When she comes in, she will join us on stage too. All right. And Madam Imelda Usoro Olaoye, the CEO of Think Mint and Green Mortgage. Welcome. Thank you very much. The only lady in my panel, I dare say. Good to have you, ma'am. You're looking resplendent as usual. Thank you. Okay, they all have mics over there. Thank you. So we've just seen by the show of hands that we have just about 10% of us here that are tech inclined, and that's the digital divide we're talking about. In fact, in Nigeria, over 50% of Nigerians don't have access to the digital skills that we need for the future. And this is also seen in the real estate industry as we have here today. So in this panel, we are going to be diving into what our tech bros here are doing around the real estate renting, leasing, financing space, and to see how we all as real estate professionals can apply this in our own individual spaces to prepare ourselves for the future of real estate. We'll dive right in by listening to the panelists break it down for us, telling us what they do and how it is important to the future of real estate. Ladies first, they say, so I'll begin with Madam Imelda to my right. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Peace.
Thank you. Introduce yourself, tell us what you do.
Okay. My name is Imelda Usoro Olaoye. I'm the founder and CEO of Think Mint Nigeria and our new baby, Green Mortgage. Think Mint Nigeria is a real estate marketing firm focused on the off-plan property projects and projects that have flexible payment plans specifically. And then Green Mortgage was set up offshoot Think Mint Nigeria because as a business, we had to facilitate mortgage for people over the years, and especially single-digit loans. We've partnered with institutions like the Family Home Funds and Murphy MRIF to facilitate these mortgages. And so it was important to now set up a platform that people can apply for these mortgages digitally. So you see all the checklists, everything you need on that platform. You get your pre-approval on that platform. You see if you are eligible for the loan on that platform. So it just makes the process a bit easier, streamlined, easier for both parties, the financiers and even the primary mortgage institutions, basically. So that's why Green Mortgage was set up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like Dr. Henry said earlier, financing is a key problem in the real estate space. And we have our madam here doing something to solve that. Please, a round of applause for her and her team at Green Mortgage. Over to you, sir, Ginodu.
Good afternoon, everyone. I think it's afternoon already. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kunle, and I lead the team at Good Tenants. Good Tenants is the single, all-in-one property facility management and letting software for the Nigerian African market. trusted by some of the biggest brands in Nigeria and with the customers in Rwanda, Kenya, and Uganda and Zambia. And our mission is simple, is improve productivity and happiness for everyone in the real estate ecosystem. So what that means for tenants is tenants can spend more time with their families, creating memories, or on their careers rather than going after maintenance issues. For landlords, it's really about income protection, asset protection, or preservation, and then finally is about peace of mind. And then for property managers, it's really about speed, excellent service to clients, and also almost zero stress. If you're a property manager, facility manager, people sleep and wake up dreaming about problems. But tech takes us the way. Thank you.
Thank you. I like that. Tech takes your problem away. So if you're not using tech in your property management, you should reach out to Mr. Jinodo for him to put you through.
Sure.
Right. Over to my left. Let's start with Mr. Bukumi Ajiboye of VAMFI.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bukumi Ajiboye. I lead the team at VAMFI. VAMFI is pretty simple. What we do is we help commercial real estate companies and management companies or companies that hold a large real estate portfolio, manage them more effectively, be able to manage their critical assets. Going down into like building management in itself, you would find that BMS systems, which are basically building management systems, are relatively more expensive and inaccessible to our general need. What we help them do is we help them to convert legacy buildings and make them more smart by using sensors to manage or to bring more visibility into how their assets are performing. Not only that, we also provide a facility management platform that allows facility managers and their companies manage their end-to-end delivery process, from requesting planning requests and also being able to execute those requests and manage the procurement process as well in that entire chain. So we not only try to solve overarching problems, but essentially we're trying to digitize the processes themselves, because before you can even start to think of AI and think of the other factors that are around the real estate space, we need to actually start to draw processes that are uniform, that people are more abreast to. Like if you come into a business or a facility manager, it's a skill that you should have already, because it comes with you understanding that technology is not just a need, it's most likely part and parcel of your job as well. So we try to present that level of understanding to our clients and also be able to provide solutions around that as well.
Thank you very much, sir, for what you do. And over to you, sir, Ayomide.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ayomide Alabi. I'm the COO and co-founder of Domot Technologies. Domot Technologies has two key products currently. We have Domot Core and Domot Guest Pass. Domot Guest Pass is our AI-powered visitor management system that gives you insights into managing your visitor access, where tenants can book in people, book out people, and then your security guards also have access to that. Domot Core is our native AI-powered platform. What we do on Domot Core is we ensure that property managers, landlords, owners, people that manage properties effectively, they have a system or they have a set of tools that accelerate those processes and ensure that they are effective and efficient. So we also bring a suite of features that help digitize all those, from inspections, lease management. We also do with like smart invoicing that comes with sweet automated reminders. We also have lease management reminders that come at the appointed time as, instructed by even like the NAIS board, like 6 months, 3 months, 1 month reminders for rents and leases, so that's standard practice. So our system comes native with those reminders. We also have a suite of other features on Domot, from inspections management, calendars, service requests, things that just make property managers and their jobs easier, because we know that when you're managing a big portfolio, or when you're managing a portfolio in general, you're a human being, and as with all human beings, we have our limits. But with tech, there are no limits. And that's what we are trying to bring to everybody here. With Domot, you can scale, you can grow. One person, and it has been tested, one person that manages 50 units can go and manage as much as 500 with Domot. So, yeah, thank you.
Wow, with tech, there are no limits. That's beautiful. And then to you, sir, Arubieke.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tolope from Together. We're a property management platform. People use that. We have two main products, Together and Elemi. Together is property management software. Agencies, different agencies use it. Government agencies use it in the UK, in Nigeria. We've transacted over 3 trillion naira on our platform till date. I want to say, if you're big, you probably use us. If you're not big yet, you're probably going to use us eventually. We have a second product called Elemi, which is a listing platform, but aiming at people in diaspora. All the properties are checked, but also if you're in diaspora trying to buy a house in Nigeria, whatever you're paying for is insured as well. We're the only person in Nigeria that actually do that. You're insured up to about £1 million in every transaction you make, bringing confidence to people to buy in Nigeria. So we're trying to always look after the seller and also the buyer as well. If you're an agency, we believe your tenants across any parts of the world really should be treated fair. So people do maintenance on our platform, pay rent. We have agencies that have properties across the world using our platform. So not just in the UK, but also other parts of the world. So we're currently in about 7 different countries, and we believe the Nigerian market is still fresh, but I believe it can be a really, really strong market. So yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. I like that. If you're big, you already use them. And if you're not big yet, you're still going to use them. Please hold him after this panel. Great. So the theme of this panel session is talking about analytics, AI, and automation. For most of us, what we know about AI is ChatGPT, or we use it as our assistant. Yeah, I do that too. What we know about automation is we know Alexa, we know Siri, that's what we know as automation. For what we know as analytics is our spreadsheets that we use. But now we want to see from our panelists, how are we using these technology tools to make real estate better here in Nigeria? So we are going to ask you, Sir Ayomide, how are you currently seeing AI, analytics, automation, reshape property management in your work, Sir Ayomide?
Okay, so for us in Domot, AI, automation, and property management has been something that we've built in from day one. Currently on Domot, we have an AI-powered chatbot stroke priority manager. So what it does is that every day it brings up all your most important tasks and it creates those tasks automatically. It also gives you advice. So it's not just something that is just showing you, it's also following you through it. It gives you standard practice, of what to do, in terms of event reminder, default, actions you can take, steps you can take. So that's part of what it does. In terms of automation, like I said, we do automated reminders. It's built into our system for lease requests, for lease management, for invoicing. They are built into our system. So like the reminders go out as often as you want them to, but we have a built-in logic for those reminders, so you don't even have to wake up every morning. And I know that if you're a property manager, you have to wake up coming to work thinking, I have to send a please be reminded of your XYZ today. But like with Domot, you don't have to do that because it's automatic and it has been automated for you. In terms of analytics, we have a number of reports on the platform. We have a CEO dashboard that shows that's happening in Domot, from your revenue, your people that are on the platform, how many requests they are making, how many properties, how well your company is doing, how well your people are doing, your top performers. All that is on our platform. We also have income statements in terms of, for your people's reporting, in terms of how much they've made. I know it will interest a lot of high-level people to know that how much have they made, how much are they bringing to the company, so they can generate those income statements based on the properties they are managing right there on the platform. In terms of analytics, lastly, we also have service request analytics. We also give like occupancy rates. I mean, with Domot, honestly, there's a lot to know, there's a lot to use, and it'll be best to let you know that you should come see for yourself, because the future is actually in PropTech and it's in property management. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing all you do in Domot. Not all, some of what you do in Domot. In fact, I would say that with Domot, real estate technology is at your Domot. I mean, I like the name, so to speak. All right, so over to my left, let's hear from you, Sir Jinodu. How do you use these tech tools to make your work at better?
I like your lines. Um, so we provide a platform that engages landlords, tenants, vendors, all of that, right? So I'll just focus on one scenario. So there's a landlord, there's a property manager A, or property management business A, and a property management business B. In the case of A, the landlord calls you and says, hey, Oga, I heard that rents in my area is increasing from 2 million to 3 million naira. Can you please increase my area to 3 million naira? The problem with that is that you've handed over the authority to the landlord to make decisions. He's doing your job for you. If I step back a bit, what really wins, I think, in real estate is trust. And that's what's missing a lot, trust. So you want your property manager to trust, your landlord to trust you, you want your tenant to trust you. And trust is really about consistency, proactivity. And so we have a framework, a good tenant. Trust framework is data, is alerts, is consistency, and then it's trust, right? So you have organized data. Our solution organizes all your data and presents it to you in an organized way. Then that data generates alerts for you. So example, we collect data from all sources, whether in the app or outside the app. And so we can tell you, for example, that, property manager, rents in Magodo are increasing by about 20% on the average in the last 2 months. And you can just click on a button and send it to your property managers in that area. And so that's automation, right? It automatically informs them. What you have done there is that you've been proactive, and they now trust you, right? And that's just one example. But we have a number of these automations on the app, whether it's to landlords or it's to tenants or it's to vendors. And what happens in the end is that if we are consistently doing these things, right, then suddenly you build trust with your clients, right? So just an example, trust. You can automate the process from organizing data to generating alerts, to doing them consistently. And then what you win at the end of the day is trust. And trust is what brings referrals in the end. And that's the way we build good tenants to, as an example. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So trust is key in real estate, and you can use technology to build trust. If you're not doing that already, you need to think of how you can start doing that. Back to my left to you, Sir Bukumi. Can you tell us how you're using these technologies in your work?
Yeah, so I would come from 2 angles. I think the first angle is buildings themselves. Buildings themselves have become now carry dual functionalities. So you would have what we are able to now collect is, number one, things about space management, how are buildings being utilized in terms of what are the activities that are going on in this building, what kind of requests are happening, what volume of requests are happening, types of requests that are happening, that effectively can tell you how your building health is being diagnosed, right? So one of the first data points that we collect is frequency of requests and types of requests. On our programming platform, for instance, we have a situation where we can actually tell you the amount of stock or type of stock that you mostly replenish. So essentially, if you see that you have a lot of plumbing stock being replenished in a particular site, and the frequency of that stock and the return jobs on that stock, it can tell you that there's something going on with how your plumbing is being designed in that building. You might need that you need to revisit your M&E processes and stuff like that. So essentially, it gives you a pinpoint angle as to how your building is performing and your entire workspace. That's one of the first few things that I've added. Also, things like the giant critical assets, which are your generators and diesel tanks and whatnot. We have sensors that we actually put in there to actually give you real-time values of your generator performance, RPM, meaning revolutions per minute, things that indicate a healthy generator against a non-healthy generator. So in real time, you get that information. You know whether or not your assets that help you power your buildings are actually performing, and things like your diesel tanks, for instance. Obviously, if you know that you have a certain amount of volume or you use a certain amount of volume per month or whatever, you know exactly what to stock, because one of the key things is that if you overbuy, one of the issues that you often see is that your diesel stock might start to interact with the environment and start to turn into water, which leads to loss. And these crucial times where in this economy where we actually need to like really be conversant with how much we spend and other stuff, right? So what we're able to give to them is knowing exactly what you need to buy, so you're not overspending and you're not underspending as well. So everything that we do in Vampify translates to how much our customers spend. So if our goal is to ensure that your cost of operations in terms of these particular things I just mentioned often come down at least 5% every year. So that's our target on our end. So basically that, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. You used technology to reduce costs and to make your buildings intelligent. That's wonderful. Please, a round of applause for our panelists so far. Now, I would come back to my right. I'm just going left and right, but then it's fine. While I was during the exhibitions, I noticed the green mortgage, and I found out the statistics there. Let me just read it quickly. 80% of Nigerians do not know that they can own a home through mortgage financing. I know that ThinkMint has a branch in ThinkMint Europe. We also have ThinkMint Nigeria. So I want you to tell us, ma'am, what is the major barrier in adopting and implementing these technology solutions we are hearing about here in Nigeria? Please share.
Okay, so I think barriers will probably be technology is available, it's hugely available, it's everywhere, but policies can affect it and can affect access to the use of technology. Another thing would be reach to people, right? So a lot of people, like you read now on the green mortgage statistics, do not know. And now it's easy to converse between a developer, right, or a property owner and a property management company, your tech tools. But it's difficult when you're now talking to the public, because that's a different party. These are people who do not understand real estate. They don't know what we're talking about here, right? So you're going to be telling them, use technology to buy a property first, use technology to get a mortgage. It's not clear to them, right? And so that is a major problem. So I think in Nigeria, we interface more with the public, the people who do not understand things we're saying here. And that's why events like this are targeted at them. Come and learn and get to understand how you can use technology to buy a property. You do not have to go comb around the globe, go around different streets, undergo a virtual inspection, and then even subscribe for the property without leaving your house, right? And then also apply for your mortgage. There are now single-digit loans available from the government, and they're real. It's working. People are obtaining it, right? And you can plug this into accessing a property at we've had. But again, we're in the business to give information, make people understand these things and how they can make life easy. So for us, our focus is ease in technology. That's our own focus of
Thank you very much for educating the public, because I personally believe that real estate is not just about buying and selling, it's about knowing. I mean, informing the public about what you do, about what is available. Mr. Tolulokbe, back to my right, my left, yes. When you were introducing yourself, you were quite modest. I well know that earlier this month, Moradia was acknowledged at the MasterCard Pay 360 Awards as a leading industry startup in the UK. You've also been nominated as finalist in 3 categories at the Property Week Awards in the UK, the only company to receive these 3 finalist positions in these awards. So you did not tell us that part. So we have an award-winning founder here with us, all the way from the UK. And I know that you're also trying to penetrate into the Nigerian market. So tell us, what are the challenges you're facing right now in penetrating and the barriers you're seeing right now? Can you share with us?
So I want to say one of the key issues we're facing is data. As a technology company, and every single tech company in the world share data. I feel like a lot of founders in Africa are quite taken back in sharing data. And I always say to people, it's over 250 million people in Nigeria. One person cannot conquer the entire market. So one of the barriers we're facing is people not wanting to share data. And we've seen other industry that they share data. The banks share data. On that side, now I believe we can actually do the same thing in the prop tech industry. And if we share data, funny enough, we actually make a lot more money because I was speaking to Emily about this. Like back in the day, 5 years ago, Nigerians were not doing transfer or card payments. Like 10 years ago, you couldn't tell a Nigerian, hey, in 2025, you would have a card payment, etc. So, but then people started sharing data, and then people became richer, and that's why you see a lot of fintech companies coming out simply because the banks have actually worked together and actually share this data. And also policy. I think Nigeria is, in some industry, policy is very policy friendly. I believe in the prop tech space, it's growing really fast, but I believe policies has to grow with it as well in order for us to actually, in order for people to actually feel more confidence in the market. It's great building shiny apartments, but at the same time, if people people are scared about, how the policy has been regulated, no one's going to buy it, and it becomes very difficult for developers to sell these properties and create jobs. So it's a big spiral event that can happen if we all share data. A lot more can happen. We're happy to share data with anyone because we know the market is big. Like I said, nobody can conquer 250 million people. It takes literally hundreds, if not thousands, of companies to do such.
Thank you for bringing out that point. So the next level of competition is collaboration. We should be more open to sharing our data, to collaborating with each other so that we can conquer the market together as a team. We should no more be working in silos in the real estate industries. Thank you very much, sir, for bringing out that point. So far we've seen the innovations in this space using technology such as AI, analytics, and automation. We've seen the challenges that we are facing in adopting it here in Nigeria. Now we want to do a quick fire session. The panelists, you're going to tell us one practical step you would advise stakeholders to take now so that they can start embracing this future of intelligent property management. I think I'll begin with Ayomide.
Okay, so for me, for the stakeholders, I would say, the world is changing. The future is already here. We can't be expecting the future in 5-10 years, and we can't keep doing the same things we've been doing over and over again and expecting the same results. So I feel it is time that the stakeholders opt for change, opt for technology. They need to upscale and try something new and see how that goes, which in most cases it will always go well, because we have fantastic founders, fantastic people building things in the prop tech space. So the stakeholders they don't need to be afraid. I know change is scary, but they need to go for that change and opt for that change. And at the end of the day, they'll be grateful they did.
Thank you. And over to you, Sir Jinodu.
Thank you. So I think that we're here to make money. So if you're here to make money, then you should get on technology because tech helps you drop your costs, improves your profitability. They're great founders, as Ayomide said, Imelda with Green, Together, Domot, Vampire. Vampire is probably the best in IoT and connecting to tracking your diesel and all of that. Get on these platforms ASAP. I don't think that we should say too much. If you use Nokia 20 years ago, you're probably not using Nokia today because they didn't move with the times. It's not a prediction, it's not a prophecy. If you're not moving with times, you'll be like Nokia in the real estate industry. Thank you.
Over to you, the goat of IoT in the real estate.
Wow.
Right? So you can call him that.
I'll take that. I think one of the first few things is to acknowledge that we are competing with the rest of Africa. The rest of Africa is going to move really fast, not necessarily as fast as we think, but they have a higher growth rate in terms of some particular industries. I think one of the first acknowledgements that our demographics are beginning to change, meaning that the managerial class is being replaced by younger people, and younger people would want technology that helps them move a lot faster. All the stakeholders remain in the same demographic. We know that, right? But essentially, they control the wealth, and as such, your customer base is going to require a brand new type or a brand new approach of service. So for that to happen, I think now is the time to plan for that generation that is coming. Start to build products and solutions around those areas, because the people that are getting their food delivered in less than 5 minutes would not want to wait. We need to start thinking about old ways of transacting real estate and start to acknowledge that technology is not only coming, but is here already. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Madam Imelda?
Okay, so for me, I would say that stakeholders should understand that people who would want to do business with them are looking for ease, right? And then they need to integrate ease into their businesses. And the only way to do this is actually through technology. There's no one who wants to go through a struggle to get anything in life naturally, right? And then also real estate also. For instance, in the field that we are playing, mortgage field, right? If we have stakeholders who are more open to streamlining, applications get to them faster. It makes people have access to their funds faster, and then they can transact easily. So if we apply this in every aspect of real estate, whether funding, property management, all aspects of it, just identifying that ease is very important. It will be so great, and then we can take it off from there and see the change we're looking for in the real estate industry.
Thank you very much. And over to you, sir.
I think one of the main key points really for me is that people need to understand that, as if you're, for example, you're a developer, you build thousands of homes, you've done that for the last 20 years or however long, and you've been using spreadsheet, which is great. Spreadsheet is still a form of technology, but you need to kind of move with the times, because the more people you have, human error is such a big thing. So if you have 10 accountants looking at funds, someone can miss a zero, and that's the difference between 2 million to 20 million. But technology allows you to actually make sure you don't lose money. But if you keep at your spreadsheet in 2025, there's a high chance that your competitors will beat you eventually, because they're using a spreadsheet, they're using more advanced softwares, they have less people, they're saving time. And I always say time is money and data is the new gold. So if you don't have the data, you can't build better, you can't build faster, because you don't have a clue what your last project cost you. So your new project should cost you about the same, or with the same materials, but you don't understand, you don't have those data points. So I always say start, if you have spreadsheets now, work your way towards actually using a platform that actually makes your life a lot more easier, compared to a spreadsheet. Worst case scenario, some people even have like physical files, which is a bit scary, but try and work your way up the ladder. That would be my advice.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Data is the new gold. We cannot not use technology in this our day and time. We need to be up with the times we are. We need to use technology to make our lives easier and to make more money, like you said. I mean, that's why we are here, right? So now we'll go over to the audience. I'm sure we have all learned a lot in the past 30 to 35 minutes that we've been here. We would like to take some questions from you for the panelists. So if you have any questions, you can just quickly show your hands so that we'll call you and you'd ask your questions. All right, I see one hand there. Let's take like 2, 3. Do we have an option for virtual attendees to also ask questions? All right, so just physical here. So one person behind. Any other questions in the audience? Another hand. Okay, 2 people. Okay. So when you're asking your questions, just your name, what you do. Chinese to one person. Just mention the.
I'm a property manager at Good Tenants. To ask, since you guys are building solutions, what solution is the real estate industry looking to align when these people, the tax collectors, come in January, so that real estate companies, real estate prop tech enthusiasts can not be left aback? Is there something we are looking towards so that we solve this problem? Thank you.
Do we want to take all questions and then share it amongst ourselves? Okay, so the second question.
Yeah, hello. So thank you all for those wonderful statements. So I'm an analyst and a product developer at Undervalued Estate. And I was wondering, what can we do for affordability in the real estate sector using tech. How can we leverage on tech for affordability for everyone around to get access to the right data, to get the properties they want, using the mortgage and using other things to access those properties. Thank you.
So I think Imelda would answer that. And for the tax, who will take up that of tax? Do you want to? Okay. Yes.
Okay, so for the affordability, like I earlier mentioned, if you go on the Green Mortgage platform, for instance, you're able to put in whatever property that you found, the pricing, the property title, what you earn as an individual, because mortgage is actually tied to your earnings, right? What you earn. Also, you can see the rates there. It already calculates how much you're going to pay monthly for the number of years you're applying for. So if you're applying for 20 years, you would see how much you pay monthly, and it's actually exact based on what you get at the banks. Now, the whole reason why Green Mortgage was established, like I said, it was offshoot of what we experienced at Think Mint when we try to facilitate mortgages for. It's always cumbersome putting together all this information, trying to get it from the subscribers, passing it to the PMIs. It's always a lot. So you can see everything there as an individual and understand if you are actually eligible before you apply. So by the time you're applying, you're also submitting all the information that we require, because mortgage comes with some documentation. So you submit everything on that same platform, Green Mortgage, and then we take it up from there. So it actually shortens something that would take like 6 months. You can get it done in 4 weeks because everything is submitted in 1 day. And now if you're qualified, we pass the information down to the PMIs, and then you get your disbursement. So it just makes it very fast, easy. So that's one way that we can check affordability. Now, on the other side of searching for property, there are other property platforms, I'm sure. But on ThinkMint also, we have a listing platform at ThinkMint, thinkmint.ng for buy real estate. So you can see properties there, not just also off-plan properties that with low entry fees. So for someone who is looking at paying over 30 months, 26 months without taking a mortgage, because mortgage comes with interest anyway. So if you want to just pay off your pockets, you can also buy those kind of properties on that platform. So that's one way that's on our part. We're sort of like providing affordable property housing options. And the interest rates on Green Mortgage are single digits, as I mentioned earlier. You can access up to about 100 million naira on it off the government's funding. That makes it very easy. So I think that's one way that we're working on that.
Thank you. And about the tax question, Sir Jinodu.
I have a customer for you, by the way. Stamp duties, taxes are, I think, are interesting, and next year is going to be quite interesting. I think government is still learning. It's going to take a while. I know they're starting something next month with some bigger companies, but real estate, there are a couple of taxes that you have to pay. Stamp duties, there's VAT if you're doing services. Rent is not taxable, at least from I've read the last the new tax law, and I know that rent is not taxable. You have to do withholding taxes for vendors. I think that what happens is that tech allows you clarity, and also allows you provide data to the tax authorities when they come, because they'll come, right? And you can basically show them on your platform your transactions and what tax you've paid and what you should not pay. More importantly, because I've spent some time reading about this, we can integrate directly to the FIRS and the tax, particularly the FIRS, and help you sort out those taxes. And that's something that we have, something that I've been spending a lot of time on, and I'm sure that we will be ready, for us at least, at Good Tenants by January 1st. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone like to build on that for the tax issues?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Not particularly on the tax, but for us at Together, one of the things we do really is that we have a team that literally look at how full profile platform is. So, in the UK, for example, there's a new law, I think it's out yet, that you can't have fixed tenancy. And we knew that since when they're talking about it, and we made our platform ready for it. So a lot of tech companies actually do the same thing, where they make sure the platform is ready for the future. So I think, when that time comes, I'm sure it's something that we're already working on. When that time comes, we'll be ready for it. But one of the things that I've realized in my experiences, I think not just Nigeria, but a lot of people don't like when you touch their money. So we give you the framework, and it's your job to ensure you pay your tax. But I think, it's an interesting thing what the government is doing. They are learning, and, it's, I guess, a way of generating more revenue for a better Nigeria.
Thank you. Do you want to build on that as well, Ayomide? Good. Okay, so we have Prince Adeniyi, Executive Director, Enterprise Services Directorate, LSDPC. He wants to make a comment.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so I used to be a banker. Now, one critical missing gap that makes mortgage approvals processing difficult are a number of things. Unverifiable income source. Many people, and so when you are processing for mortgage, you must be able to justify this source. The data should also encourage people, especially as we get into the era of mortgage opportunities. I was telling at 18, I was worse now. The days where you hope to get an opportunity to steal, in code, 250 million is going gradually. I'm telling us now, it's going financial system. Deposit your daily proceeds. And you see, so easy now. You can use a POS, you can use all kinds of things. So it goes into the days where you keep the 500 million under your bed in the house is gone. So that when you now want to apply for a mortgage, you put it. The other thing people use for money laundering now is car sales. Car sales. So you will see a car depot. 20 cars. And the person doesn't have a single bank account. Let me stop there. But use the financial system. The financial system will help you. And you know why? Financial things are now global. So you don't realize the same way that social media, Facebook, that's why when you go and apply for a visa now, they tell you put your Facebook there. Continue to say you're in Abeokuta and you're saying you're in London. They'll catch you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Transparency is key. Transparency in the real estate sector. It's been an insightful, a powerful, an eye-opening session. We've learned, we've unlearned, we've relearned. We've seen that data is the new gold. We've learned that what really wins in real estate is trust. We've seen that tech is not just coming, it is here already. And we've seen that we need to integrate ease through here. Finally, if you are here to make money, I'm sure all of us are here to make money, right? Then go for technology. A big thank you to our panelists. Thank you very much, sir. Sir Adekunle Jinodu of Good Tenants, Sir Bukumi Ajiboye of Vamp FI, Sir Ayomide Alabi of Domot Technology, Sir Tolu Lokpe of Muradia Limited, and Madam Imelda for putting this together, for educating us always year after year. This is the 5th edition. You're doing this, and the 6th edition, and you're going to keep doing this. Thank you very much for that. And for all of us, the panel, the audience, thank you all for being here. Your presence here makes this going. Without you, the real estate industry cannot be functional. So thank you all for being here. We'll round up this panel with a quote. I saw this quote and I found it very insightful. It's by Alan Watts, and it says, "The only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and dance, and join the dance." So your call to action from this panel is to join the dance of technology in real estate. Continue speaking with the panelists. Think of what solutions you can provide to make it easier, better, and save more money. Tech is the future, and we are building for the future. Thank you, one and all.
Oh, wow. Let's have the group pictures, please, so we can move to our sponsor presentations. How was that panel session? I know business owners will be happy to hear Mr. Prince speak on what he spoke about. So it's easy for you to be able to access mortgage now, but please keep your inflows, your outflows. It's not only when you want to jackpot, even for housing. That was very interesting. And it reminded me of when I was in school in Uniben studying civil engineering. In my industrial training period, I walked boldly to the bank and said I wanted to take a loan. And they asked me, from where to where? Where do you work? I said, I'm in school. And they're like, sorry, there's nothing like that. And I felt really hurt. And so when he mentioned it, that at 18, he was able to walk up, to the UK and ask for a loan, I think we're all going there. And the solutions that were shared here are solutions that we should take seriously if we want to be able to own our own homes. Thank you so much to the panelists, to the moderator. That was really, really insightful. I am learning a lot, and my dream to own properties all over the world has been refreshed here. And I'm sure that is going to happen very soon. Okay, I would like to welcome Purple Group and Urban Shelter for their sponsor presentation. And right after that, we're going to have the next panel session on retail and commercial real estate, the road to growth. Can we have Purple Group and Urban Shelter? Can we have a representative from them? Are you there? Please, can someone inform me if they are coming, and if they are not, we'll just quickly move to our panel session. The next panel session. Are you around? Purple Group. Please, a round of applause for the representative of Purple Group.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Praise. I'm the marketing lead at Purple. Purple is a real estate company. We create affordable lifestyle experiences for our consumers through our principal investments in our superior mixed-use facilities. We have the Purple Maryland, we have the Purple Lekki, and we have the Purple Living. On the Purple Living, we have the Nanos, the Urbans, and we have the Nanos, the Urbans. Nano is right on the Purple Lekki. If you don't know Purple Lekki is a new shopping mall right in the heart of Lekki Phase 1 on Freedom Way. And yes, we have the Nano right on there. We have Cul-de-sac right at the back of Purple Maryland as well. So yes, we are expecting you to come visit us anytime and experience the bliss that we provide. Thank you.
Wow, that was brief. Thank you. Okay, can I have one of the ThinkMate team call our moderator? I saw her walk away a while ago. Please, can we have the moderator come up here? Okay, wow. I feel so full already, and we still have another panel session, but I really, really feel full. I have been learning so much. For those of us that live in Lagos, we know the cost of rent in Lagos. I don't know if it's the same with other states, but I think it's happening everywhere, because someone from Ibadan called me 2 days ago that his landlord has sold his apartment and given all of them quit notice. I thought it was just us in Lagos that are going through it. So the rent situation in Lagos is really becoming something else, and all over Nigeria. So it is time for you to own your own property. You're not too young, you're not too small, and I think that that's what this conference is really doing, helping people see how they can access real estate solutions. You can see that with all the panelists, the speakers, our guests who have spoken, family home funds, and the rest, green mortgage. So let's try to take advantage of this, and also take pictures of this event and post on social media using the hashtag REDA 2025. Okay, and please don't forget to scan the QR code. It was showing on the screen a while ago, and then there are papers on your screen that have the QR code as well. The program is in that code. So if you don't scan the code, you don't get the program, and you might not be able to follow through what we're doing today. I would like to quickly take one or two people to share what they've learned so far while we wait for the moderator. Can I have someone with the mic? Please take it to the audience. I'd like to have a show of hands. One or two people, something that you're taking away right now from when we started or from when you came up until now while we wait for the moderator of our next panel. Okay, so with a show of hands, there's something you've gotten so far that has been really phenomenal for you. Tolu, we are actually waiting for you. So I'm trying to, yes, we're waiting for you. You know, someone said something that hits me like a gong. He said, if you're not moving with the times, you will be the Nokia of real estate. I'm like, this guy, calm down now. That was like Koboko. It hits me. And I'm not even actively in the real estate industry. So like that is like a warning for everyone. Okay, our panel moderator is here. Interestingly, I've not seen her in how many years? Over 5 years. Oh yeah, it's been a while, so I'm very, very happy to see her. So I'm just going to introduce her while we turn to our brochures online for the rest of the profiles to be able to save time. This panel session is going to be on retail and commercial real estate, the road to growth, and is going to be moderated by the managing partner, Kola. God, I need glasses. Kola and Akomolade and Co. So sorry. She is a certified real estate surveyor and valuer. She is the managing partner at Kola Akomolade and Co., a seasoned property consulting firm with headquarters in Victoria Island, Lagos. She is a seasoned professional with over a decade experience in the strategic assessment, redevelopment, and project management of real estate assets to optimize clients' investment goals. Her firm has over 40 billion worth of assets under management for clients home and abroad. She graduated top of her class with first class honors from Covenant University, Ota, Nigeria, and proceeded to obtain a master's in management and a diploma in entrepreneurship from the prestigious Imperial College, London. On returning from her master's, she worked at Unilever Nigeria PLC as a brand manager and worked as a brand development manager at Unilever South Africa, PTY, overseeing some Western countries and the Southeastern African markets. She resigned to join the family real estate business with a vision to build it into a reputable international property consulting company. Tolu is also passionate about finance literacy and is the founder of Money Map Academy, an organization with the goal to help entrepreneurs and business professionals build wealth independent of their business salary. And I could go on and on and on. You have the entire program. Please, with a rousing welcome and a rousing applause, help me welcome Tolu Dima Okoje. That's the in-law, actually, to Ini Dima Okoje, the actress. Okay, so I'm going to introduce our panelists by their names and designations because of time. You can please turn to the program to look at their profiles. And our first panelist is Obinna Onunkwo, founder and CEO. So it's not clear here, but founder and CEO and CO Purple Group. Is he here? Is he here? Can we have Obinna Onunkwo from Purple Group? Who is representing him if he's not here? I'm going to move to the next panelist while we wait for Purple Group. Okay, our next panelist is Ayotunde Adesulu. Are you representing? Okay, our next panelist is Ayotunde Adesulu, CEO, Novare Fund, Manager Nigeria Limited. Thank you so much for being here. And our next panelist is Obinna Udeaga. Why do we have two Obinnas on the panel? What's going on with Obinnas today? Obinna Udeaga, Managing Director, ONL Group. Are you here? Please, can we have him here? Okay, representing, that's fine. And next is Ayo Akimade, Executive Vice Chairman, IWG PLC. Thank you, sir, for being here. And last but not least is Lou Rogba Ori Molade MNI, Principal Partner Rogba Ori Molade and Co. Thank you, sir. You've been here for a long time. We appreciate you. I'm going to hand over right now to the moderator.
Does this work? Hello.
So do we all have mics? Yes. Okay, so over to you, Tolu.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Is it afternoon yet? Yes, it is. It's a real pleasure to be here. I think we're still expecting Laide Agbola from Purple Group. Are they online? There's to come. Okay, thank you. All right, so thank you to my panelists and to the guests here. So how much time do we have? Okay, great. All right. Okay, so the topic of our panel is retail and commercial real estate road to growth. And we have with us seasoned professionals across different sectors here. So let's start from the beginning. Commercial real estate in Nigeria. In Nigeria. We saw a boom, especially in the commercial sector, malls and all that, 2011, 2015, and just pre-COVID also, we saw some boom there, but post-COVID, that changed. But in recent years, we're seeing some change, some growth, but it's taking a different form, and that's exactly what we want to discuss today. So I'm going to start with, obviously this on the back of the global context and the Nigerian context, because those are two separate issues as well, the supply chain issue from the international perspective and then the local economy. So let's start with our first speaker here, Mr. Ayotunde Adesulu.
Right here.
Yes, to my left. Okay, let's start from the beginning. How are investors balancing caution with opportunity, given the macroeconomy uncertainties, currency fluctuations and whatnot? Even though that seems to have stabilized, how would you say that consumers are looking at that?
All right, thank you very much. I think for Novaria as a business, it's understanding, striking a balance between, short-term prudence and long-term convictions. You must understand when to enter the market. For us as a business, we've looked at the current macroeconomic conditions, and one of the things we can say is, we've had to strike and understand what sort of efficiencies do we put into our business to ensure that our businesses can remain profitable and continuous. When you look at operational efficiency, how do we manage these assets that we currently own? How do we reduce operational costs? How do we make sure that the assets can run on less amounts compared to pre-COVID periods? So, looking at those figures, and then we also have to look at the sort of asset class that we are in. What sort of assets are currently in the economy that will ensure that an investor can come in at the right time? For example, I know there's been a big boom in the residential sector today in Nigeria. But for us as a business, we're not necessarily in the residential. We're more in the commercial real estate and retail. So, we have to understand our business and, look at avenues to ensure that the retail part of the business for us as a company can grow properly, I'll give you a quick example. What we do as a business compared to other developers in Nigeria, the likes of Actis, Resilience and Co, is that we are a hands-on business with our tenants, as opposed to having an external third party manage the relationship between the tenant and the landlord. So we try to, understand the tenants' day-to-day needs, understand their where it hurts. How do we give them concessions? What sort of payment plans can we look at for them to be able to meet up with their financial obligation to the assets? And over time, this has proven to be the best approach for us as a business, and that has continued to ensure that our assets can continue to, gain more, financial stability within the sector as a whole. So for us as Novari, we also look at what sort of avenues can we, continue to improve the offering we have in the Nigerian market as a retail business today. Obviously, within the last couple of years, prior to 2018, we're the only developers building in the country. Most of the developers had put a halt on developments during the Buhari regime, and Novari had 3 assets being built in the space of 3 years. One asset close to around, we'll say, $45 million. And in that space, during the period that we were building, everyone was asking what was wrong with our company and whether we were going mad, still investing in the country. But I guess today we look at those investments, and whilst we say that the idea is for our fund is to develop the rest of Africa, excluding South Africa, because most of our income is from equity, from pensions in South Africa. So for new developments, what approach are we going to take as a company to go into new developments, take into consideration the currency fluctuations and obviously the policy transitions in the country today? We are going into a REIT, that's a real estate investment trust, to be able to hedge ourselves against the devaluations, and then also get some local funding, which will be able to assist us in hedging what sort of rentals we can charge our tenants and what sort of income we can achieve. And then we believe that that's going to help us to grow within the current portfolio that we have. Currently in Nigeria, we have 4 portfolios. We have 2 in Zambia, 1 in Zambia, and 3 in Mozambique. But I guess for us, when we look at, the current valuation of assets today, the amount you value an asset today obviously is, say, 40-50% less than the amount you used to develop. So if you go into the market now to purchase an asset, you're obviously getting at a discount. So in terms of growing our business, we are also looking at purchasing already existing assets at a lower value. So those are my comments. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And I think it's great to see that Novari is still within the system. That's an indication that Nigeria is still investable, because there have been concerns that with what's going on, should we be running out? Should we be jackbuying or should we be jackbadaing? So I think you have given some validation for jackbada. Thank you for that. All right, let's go very quickly to Danjuma Umar, Head of Projects at ONL Group. All right, still on that topic, can you tell us, industrial and logistics real estate, is it booming or not? And what are the drivers for it?
Thank you, Tolu, for that question. Is it booming? I think it's obvious that it's booming. And when we talk about the factors that are causing this boom or this growth, a lot of them are pretty much obvious. There is migration. And when I say migration, I mean migration from other cities to more premium cities like Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and the rest of them. There is also the boost in e-commerce, and I think we see that a lot. The dynamics around e-commerce is changing, but e-commerce is a very strong point. There is also development in terms of infrastructure. When we have roads being built, rails being built, then you then know that development is about to happen. But I think I'll dwell more on the e-commerce aspect of it, and I think the previous speakers in the other sessions have actually spoken about why these things are happening. First, there's the change in how people want things to be done these days. I think last week I was speaking to someone in Okene, and she told me that she wanted to get some electronics. 2 years ago, if you wanted to get electronics in Okene, you needed to most likely get it from somewhere in Lokoja, or when you want variety, you get from Abuja. And she told me that she was going to order from an e-commerce platform, and that she was going to get it in about a week. So if we have this dynamic in terms of e-commerce, where forgive the language, where smaller cities like Okene and Mina and Boso are able to attract e-commerce traction. When someone can, from, like I said, these smaller cities, order items and get it delivered to their doorstep. What that shows is that there is need for that kind of e-commerce infrastructure, logistics hubs, warehouses, distribution centers, fulfillment centers. So this growth and this dynamic is actually one of the reasons why there is a boom in that sector.
Fantastic, and I think quite a lot of us here can confirm that, because I'm not sure the last time I went into a store to buy things. Although I did do that today, and only because I've been having some orders, and then my size, I'm a half size, so sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. But at least the bulk of it, my husband knows that when he hears the door on the gate, Tolu has ordered something else. I hope I'm not the only one in the hall that does that. Thank you. Okay, I'll let my husband know. All right, so moving on to my senior colleague, ESV Orimolade. I have a question for you, still on this topic. Because you are an estate surveyor and valuer with experience spanning decades, I want you to tell us what subsectors in the commercial real estate space should show the greatest growth potential over the next 5 years. So is it the logistics hub? Is it shopping centers? Is it co-working spaces? Because we're all here looking for the money. Show us the money, sir. Show us the way.
I should show you the way.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I'll start with this current development, and I'll use to try and relate it locally here. In Western Pennsylvania, some weeks ago, I believe we've heard of Walmart. I think we all know Walmart, right? Okay, good. So Walmart is the biggest worldwide in terms of departmental stores, supermarkets, blah, blah, blah. Their typical model is really not to own the property and you have tenants. They own the whole shebang, the whole value chain from A to Z. Typical Walmart. That's changing. What have they done? And you can check online. This is verifiable. For once, they've bought an existing facility, retail facility, and they are throwing in their Walmart. Walmart normally is big. They're throwing in their Walmart, but guess what? They are bringing restaurants. They are bringing skating rinks. They are bringing some form of entertainment. Walmart on its own, anywhere they go, they have crowd. It's not enough. Now, relating it to Nigeria, and I'm going to tie it to what you talked about, the opportunities. All what you mentioned, the opportunities. The question you should ask is that where should we look? Instead of social media. The lucky, I'm saying this for a reason, and I'll say some things there. Some of the things might be a bit controversial, but I'm not a politician. Instead of us shouting too much on social media, logistics. You have the Lekki Coastal Road, passing through so many cities that their rentals now are low. Connecting Ondo State, connecting Ogun State, and the likes. I won't say more. Those that know should know when I say logistics. Nigerian breweries, they are distributing all over the country. Trust me, in the value chain, if you have a place somewhere around, say, Ondo State, not too far from the coastal road, and you take a position there in the cheap land, how cheap is a warehouse? It's station poles. Just put up station poles, security, and all of that. I'm sure you'll be a dealer within 24 hours. That's opportunities in logistics. What I gave as an example, sorry. Can everyone hear me? Okay. What I gave as an example initially is not just the future of retail. It's now. All right? There are opportunities in that space. However, it's all about recognizing two things. It's all about the footfall, how you derive your footfall within your commercial development. And that's what the great Walmart has done. So typically, whether you have a standalone detached house, for instance, in Lekki Phase 1, or you have so much money to do a monstrosity in Ikorodu or what have you, you have to dedicate certain spaces, even if you are not going to collect any rent, to put those drivers there. And, if you like, triple the rent of the other spaces. Because what will make that facility work and generate you revenue is footfall. Retail is buying and selling, it's not office. We should know. Buying and selling. So, invariably, what am I saying? There are opportunities today to lose, not future. The opportunities are still there. We're living here, we're seeing places that have voids, properties that have voids. Why must any commercial retail development have a void if there's a good tenants mix? So I'll leave it there.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so much for that. And I actually want to agree with you. We did some research for a client not too long ago on the Badagry Expressway space. And when we looked at the data coming out from there in terms of the opportunity with the West African market, there's already studies showing that we would have a deficit in coming years for warehousing and whatnot. So again, another opportunity in the next, well, don't let me say 5 years, but in the next few years. So if you want to plug into that information, like my mentor has said, please feel free to do so. Okay, moving on very quickly to Mr. Ayo Akimade. Thank you so much for coming on time. And I have a question for you. How has the shift in consumer behavior, e-commerce, and remote work affected leasing and occupancy rates?
Thank you, Tolu. Good afternoon, one and all. Shift in consumer behavior. When you look around now, probably 20% of you are looking at your phones. The basic shift that we see across the board is more insular, more technology-based, more around what people are able to access on their phones. What this has done is, and is validated by what my friend on the right is saying, in fact, what everybody here has said, people are buying using technology that is available to them right now. They're buying big things, they're buying small things. They're buying properties, they're buying office space, they're buying recreational space, they're buying short lets, all sorts. What is the impact for us as business practitioners in Nigeria? If your potential customers are using technology and they're using especially phones, laptops, and the likes, if you are not where they're buying, or if you are not where they are making the decision to buy, you've excluded yourself from the potential to be seen. So that's the first thing. What we see in our sector is, especially after COVID, well before COVID, everybody thought that the only way to work is to drive from your house, or go someplace, some central place, and then work from that place. And suddenly, after COVID, we all went, hang on, you can actually work from home. You can work from a place that is not central. And for us, what we see is that work is now so much more fractionated. Now, what's the impact on that on big office spaces? We're seeing the trends affecting voiding, and he was talking about this, where if you've gone and built a 20-story office building, you might find that you have to think about the different mixed uses that you have to have for that space to make it work, because I have potentially customers coming to me to say, I have 60 staff, but I want them to work from your 7 locations in Lagos. And we create a VPN for them, and they can work from, some of them can work from the mainland, and some of them can work in Lekki, and some of them can work in Ikoyi, and they're all networked. So, key trends. 1, prices have stabilized and trended down, where you have a fixed building that is set in a particular fixed use, and you are not adjusting the use. You have to be able to find the flexibility of use to make it function for different types of people. If you don't do that, then you're likely to see diminishing returns on your investments. For those people who are just planning, this is the opportunity to learn from that lesson and make sure that the buildings and the investments you make have multi-use purposes. Work-life balance, restaurants, pharmacies, supermarket, mini supermarkets, offices, and some residential use within the same space would be the way to go. Let me leave it at that. By the way, I didn't see a lot of people taking notes. I heard some gems from some of the things that was said here. And when we all say the country is hard, the country is hard. Yes, the country is hard, but there are huge opportunities. And I was just mentally filing it away. Some of the things I heard here are actionable now. We don't have to wait till next year and the year after. They are actually things that we can work on right now. Thank you.
I think we need to celebrate the host of this event because obviously we are making money already and we haven't left the hall. So thank you so much, sir, for validating again why we should be here. So I'm coming back to you, Mr. Ayotunde Adesulu. As capital seeks safer long-term assets, how is the investment case of retail and commercial real estate evolving in Nigeria compared to other African markets? Because we know we're not in isolation, so we have to benchmark against others.
Yeah, thank you. So before I answer that, I just want to touch a bit on, those topics that, or the questions that you had asked them, because I'm heavily invested in those questions as well. For example, when you talk of retail and how to continue to, ensure that retail remains valid, e-commerce, whilst is, extremely important that people can sit in their homes and make purchases. For Novara as a business, we're in more development, and one of the things we want to ensure is to get people out of their homes to come to the assets to ensure they can, make purchases from those tenants. So whilst we see e-commerce growing and the rest, and the tenants, the customers have become, reduced their coming out post-COVID, or should I say increase the back. What have we tried to do? We've tried to grow kids entertainment. We developed our own kids entertainment business called Fun World, where families can bring their kids, play, and in turn shop within the assets. And then when you look at the commercial real estate spaces, office spaces which are currently vacant, you see the likes of the Seplat building. They moved to Mobile. They had 7 floors. Currently, we're in talks with people like that or developers like that to see how we can expand our shared office business, because a lot of people now want to do the shared office concept. I have 1 staff here, 2 staffs. So we're also growing that part of our portfolio as well. So I just thought to mention that and to see how, business, obviously, and where the opportunities are in growing businesses in Nigeria. Then to go back to the question, I think there's still a big opportunity for retail and commercial real estate in Nigeria compared to the rest of the world or the rest of Africa. I always benchmark my, findings or research or information that I'm, communicating with the South African markets, because Novara is predominantly a South African investment, South African equity pensions. Obviously, today in Nigeria, we're over 220 million people. And the formal retail, or should I say formal grade A retail, I'm sorry that I always talk about retail because that's the only thing I really know. So the formal retail market in Nigeria today currently stands at about, say, roughly about 300,000 square meters of grade A retail spaces with over 220 million people. In South Africa, there are roughly, 59 million people with grade A retail of about 22.4 million square meters. That just shows you the huge potential with 220 million people. You know, when we talk to the potential investors who want to do retail, commercial real estate, or developments in this country, whenever they see those numbers, you know, they shine their eyes. Like, it's unbelievable. And there's a forecast that the population of Nigeria is going to hit 400 million people in the next 10 years. And with that, you know, it seems like there's a huge opportunity for, you know, retail real estate, commercial real estate in Nigeria. And when you look at, you know, comparing it to the other part of Africa, you can see that, you know, there's a huge opportunity there. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. So clearly, when you are looking at, I guess when they say the giant of Africa, it's part of what we're talking about, that there is a latent potential there if we will only take advantage of it. And I guess it also speaks to why your brand is still heavily invested in the Nigerian markets. You're not leaving anytime soon, are you? Okay, then I'm moving on very quickly to Danjuma Umar. So my next question to you. How can industrial and retail real estate work together, particularly in the last mile delivery chain that connects consumers to warehouse?
Thank you. Can you hear? Hello? Okay, thank you for that question, Tolu. When you asked the question, I heard a lot of so it means that I think that's a very important point. One thing that I'll touch on is, I think a lot of the speakers have, or a number of the speakers have actually touched on it, is data. There is retail and there is industrial. Today, we don't have that relationship of sharing data. If one business has gone through pain and gotten knowledge from that pain, I believe that that business should be able to share the same info, to share that data, that learning, to another business in another industry. I think that by the time we get ourselves to the point where people are able to share information, knowledge, data comfortably, then we can then start to draft out solutions that aid this better working relationship between retail and industrial. And I think one solution to that point is co-location. Today we have call it industrial Lagos or industrial Ogun. And we have the retail corridors in Lekki, say Admiralty Way. How about we start developing warehouses that have shop fronts in front of them for areas, say like Agbara, that we know would not have a prominent retail corridor. I think that once we share, and I don't want to talk about too many points, but two strong points is let's get ourselves to the point where we can share data, and let's get ourselves to the point where we can think creatively about solutions, especially in terms of industrial stroke retail real estate. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And I want to take it further because I could hear also some people thinking, this is the second panel today, and again, we're talking of sharing data. So clearly there's a bottleneck there. I would like if you could elucidate on why you think we're struggling to collaborate and share data.
Well, different people have different reasons for why they hold back data. The first reason, obviously, would be competition. So the more you feel like your competitor has certain information, or the more you feel like information that you have would benefit your competitor, then you're unwilling to share that. The second reason, I think, is more structural. The gentleman there talked about Nigeria's population being around 220 million. I think that one of the earlier speakers said 270 million. Can we actually rely on a structured data platform? Say, for example, MBS. How many people have confidence in MBS today? So we need to get ourselves to a point where there is a structural solution to the problem, where people can go to a platform or go somewhere that is government-owned, and I believe we'll touch on that because everything is, again, has to have government backing. But we need reliable data, and that can happen whether from private and government partnerships or private and private partnerships, but those two reasons, competition or the fear of competition, and secondly, the need for a structural initiative with regards obtaining and banking data.
Thank you so much for that. Food for thought and maybe another opportunity in that answer. All right, Mr. Laida Bola, Obina, okay, all right. Are you happy to? All right, great. So I have a question for you. There's a mic beside you. Thank you. So my question to you is this. Mixed-use developments are reshaping Nigeria's urban landscape. So what lessons have you learned from creating these integrated communities that blend retail, residential, and commercial functions? Can you share with us?
That's like asking Jesus, what did you learn about reading the Bible? There's a lot. There's so much. 2 days ago, I was in Maryland, US. I just came back yesterday. And if you're going to the airport, if you move into Washington, all of a sudden, on the left and right, you'll see Amazon, 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 Amazon. They own all the buildings to the Washington airport. What is Amazon selling? Data. So the tech guys are big on it, and they are driving real estate in that area. So what I've learned is that sometimes we need to look at what is happening in the environment and then sell real estate as a service to those guys. You might find that in what we work in Borno State is farm warehouses. I read in the paper the other day that somebody is in Benue State and set up because Benue does a lot of fruit processing factory. So, but that is real estate. Warehouse is real estate, right? So we shouldn't really see real estate as just housing. We see it as it's translating to a service they are going to deliver to somebody. Either the person pays you cash up front or they pay you in piecemeal. And if you look at it from a service point of view, data is about services. You know, when we talk about data and why people are holding data because they don't know what data they are sitting on and they don't know what to do with it. They are waiting until that eureka moment when they're in the bathroom and it hits them in the head that, this data, this is what I can do with it. But it doesn't come that way. You have to have a strategic plan where if you don't know what to do with it, you partner with people that don't know what to do with it. Right? So when we talk of prop tech, which is something that we are pushing strongly in Purple, we have data. We know what to do with that data, given that we've done retail, and so we know how to manipulate the data. But we're providing a platform where other people that don't understand how to use data to drive their real estate portfolio can partner with us and work. So if you do not collaborate with the guys that know how to use that data, you won't know what you're sitting on. Right now, we're in a building that's a hotel that has accommodations for doing seminars and stuff. But there's an aspect of pricing in this hotel that they're not exploring. Because if they're tracking everybody entering this hotel and what they're coming here for, that's a lot of information. If you go to a retail outlet and want to buy something, they will even tell you, take 40% discount, but sign up to our newsletter. Think about it. Why would you give me 40% discount, sign up to your newsletter? You want my data. You want to know, and when you open the phone first phone will tell you that this app wants to track how you use other services on your phone. Why? Data is the future. So when we talk of Nigeria, we talk of real estate, how many people can even buy this real estate? Not more than 10% of our population can afford real estate, really. Half of you in this room cannot afford houses. That's the truth. So the people that we're marketing, some of them are not here, they're outside here. And they're very small. So forget Nigerian policy statistics, yes, the data is there. It's the question of how are you looking at that information? If you look at the MBS figures, that's one. But if you look at the BVN figures, because the BVN figures tell you those that have bank accounts, right? From that BVN figures, you can go to FIRS, you can get the percentile of people that are paying super taxes, right? You now drill it further and know people that want to sell 100 million naira property to 150 million naira property to, where are they? You now drill down and say whether that house you're building for 500 million, when someone is going to buy it or not. So I think that from what I've learned in this market is that our market is very, very dynamic. And that dynamism is being fed by information that some of them are real, some of them are not real. That information is being fed by what people see on their Facebook, on their, the other day is VDM and blood are killing each other and all that stuff. And that information on your phone is fed by what? Data. So you have to follow the data. because that data point will tell you where the next yield curve is and how you're going to position yourself is. Yeah, thanks.
Fantastic. Everyone, please clap if you want to. Clap, clap, clap. Okay, Mr. Ayotunde wants to add to that.
Yes. Everyone has talked about data, and I think it would be very unfair of me not to add something to that, take into consideration what we are doing as a company. So 3 years ago, I think the idea behind where can we find, data of customers who come into the shopping centers that we own, and what sort of information can we get on their background, their spending power, the basket size per customer, etc. And there was absolutely no way we could get that unless we generate our own product. So late last year, we signed up, or we had an NDA with Access Bank, and we started off a loyalty program called Nova's Reward. And the idea of Nova's Reward is to get the customer spending data by registration. So when you come into the shopping center, most of the times you go to developed countries or outside, or say the UK, US, and you want to access free Wi-Fi when you get into the mall, you put in your email, you put in your information, and then that little information you're giving them, they actually use it to monitor you and spool out all your information. So what did we do as well? We were setting up the Wi-Fi thing in our malls. People would gain access to free Wi-Fi. In turn, we get their information, and then we can use that to understand what their spending power is, and also then be able to give them access to credit. So that's why we partnered with Access Bank. So we give you the access to credit to be able to take loans, which will be able to make you shop in the retail centers. So yeah, looking at data, there's a lot of opportunities, and we saw one, and that's where we started the Nova's Loyalty program through. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that insight. Clearly, I'm going to be giving out free Wi-Fi in my office complex. Thank you so much. But more importantly, they both said two very important things I want us to take away. First is that a lot of us, in fact, every one of us is sitting on data. The real question is, how are we mining it? And before we even go into mining the data from our businesses, I wonder if you recognize that as an individual, you have a lot of data sitting. Do you even have data about yourself? Do you understand yourself? Yeah, our phones already tell us how much time we're spending on social media, how much time you're spending on productivity apps, how much time you've spent walking. Do you know that's information? That's powerful information. And if we think it through from ourselves to our consumers, to our stakeholders, clients and whatnot, how much data could we get then? Just like they've said, if you follow that data, you begin to see a pattern, and an opportunity comes out of that. So mine the data for yourself, and then mine the data from your businesses, and I'm sure you see opportunities for making money, because that's what we're here for, right? Okay, very quickly, Mr. Orimolade, sir, I have a question for you. With evolving consumer behavior, let's talk about this question. ESG compliance is becoming part of due diligence for us. It's a global thing, especially if you're looking for access to funding internationally. One of the criteria they use to judge you is your ESG compliance. And even beyond real estate, we're seeing a lot of that come through, even with grants and whatnot. So, sir, coming back to real estate, how can developers practically integrate it into their projects without overburdening cost?
Tolu, why are you giving me this question now?
Because I know you can handle it.
Okay. You are talking about how can developers get into that without the fear of
adding to their
costs. First of all, I think this kind of platform is good based on this question you've asked for those that don't even know what ESG is. And that's enlightenment. Thank God for the phone. Thank God for AI. There's funding. There's even funding once you cross certain milestones for development all over the world. There's funding even in Nigeria. Once you are ESG, I call it ESG compliant. Okay? So I think
with more awareness, as I said, we've thrown this out there now. I'm sure Imelda will find a way of throwing that information out. And people recognizing that ESG is not one funny tap word. It's real. Yes, high cost and all that. It's not about high cost. It's about building smart. Building cleverly. Yeah, the future is good. Sustainability and all that. But it's all about being smart. What's the future? Where are we going? This morning I read, I think it was in the newspapers, Mr. Wahab. They say the fear of Wahab is the beginning of wisdom, Commissioner of Environment. And I think he talked about how Lagos State now, even though certain places are already doing it, I think the policy is coming out in terms of you can now be packing plastics and stuff and you'll be getting money, right? Common sense should tell anyone. Common sense. And I don't believe in this room. We have a lot of common sense here. To tell anyone that where are we going to in this world, in Nigeria? It's all about green. It's all about climate. So in terms of the built environment, you're not going to be spared. So in a nutshell, you're not even begging any developer in the next 1 year. If you are not trying to
compliant and putting measures in place, tapping carbon credits and all of that, nobody will tell you the money is not going to come to you. Because those
companies that are giving out the money,
they're not going to just give you, even if you know the MD of those companies. You have to tick those boxes. So forums like this, Enlightenment, AI, I see 1 or 2 people play with their phones already. It will help the industry and
developers will recognize that.
About more money. It's just about thinking smart, building smart.
Thank you very much for that. I think you've said a very valid point. We have to future-proof, and the way the world is working, even in Nigeria, we are actually thinking global. And talking about thinking global, I want to go to Mr. Ayo Akimade, sir. The flexible workspace model is gaining traction. We know that, right? But what lessons from global markets can Nigeria adopt to accelerate this transformation of flexible workspace models?
So the basic trends globally are some of what I described first. One, there's an aggregation that's taking place. And the second is the use of technology. Technology is bridging the gap and bringing workspaces closer to where people live. The essence is, and you talk about ESG, the essence is to, in improving the quality of living, is to move the places where people can work closer to them. And in doing that, you have to find a mix between suitable buildings and the structures within it, but also you have to have the technology to make sure that the productivity when people are in that space is actually top-notch. One of the trends, maybe you'll talk about it later, there's an urbanization going on across Africa now, which is basically the trend of people moving from, let's say, rural areas to urban areas. Across Africa, urbanization trend is currently about 40%. In Nigeria, it's 52% currently, right? People are moving more towards the cities. As they move more towards the cities, it has implications for us for what we do in terms of provision of infrastructure, buildings, and the likes. But it also then means that those people that are left behind in what would be either rural or semi-rural places, how will we provide for that? Our company in the UK, the US, and the likes, they are going to Hertfordshire, they're going to non-traditional places and putting offices, places where you can work within a 15 minutes of where you live, and then networking with technology to urban cities, to urban places. Same thing, I think Obina was saying about AWS. With technology now, you can actually work and collaborate with someone in Japan, here, on your phone even. So that trend we're seeing abroad, we in our company we're doing here. So for example, for the first 10 years, we were only Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. Last week I was in Owerri where we are putting a location. We have something in Enugu coming up. We think that every state capital can have something that will be networked to our group structure. Because in the end, if it works in Pakistan and it works in Indonesia, there is no question it will work in Nigeria. We just need to think about how we're going to deliver that solution. So 2 things, technology, urban flows. Where people are going is where you need to meet them with a service that you are providing. And you have to find a way for your service to meet them at the point that they are making the decision to buy the service. If you do it 3 days after they've bought the service, it's too late. At the point that they need to make the decision to buy, you have to be there at that point in time. That's the basic message. Thank you.
Thank you so much again for that. A round of applause if you want to. You can. We are trying out so much gems. We keep getting applauses here, so we're doing really good. All right, so my last question will go back to you, Mr. Obina, and then I'll take final words from each member of the panel before we throw it open to the audience for questions. All right, Mr. Obina, in managing large commercial assets, what are the biggest operational challenges you're seeing post-COVID, and how are you addressing them? Operational challenges post-COVID.
I think the biggest operational challenge for me is people. And why I say that is that the post-COVID, people develop different ideas of how they want to live their life. Some felt they want to stay close to home. There's no firm here that did not experience significant recruitment and staff movement issues after COVID. Whether your employer is providing that for you, and what are your choices? So the challenge for us was how do we, I know with people that are younger than the millennials, just goes and it gives surety to investors. I mean, when you read in papers that they're demolishing structures, it makes investors a bit circumspect whether we should put money down on the table. So there has to be clarity on those regulatory guidelines, so that when investors bring money to the table, they know that their money, nobody wants to lose money. The third thing I also want is exchange rates, right? A lot of our inputs, apart from cement and human beings, come from outside the country. Yes, there's a bit of certainty now, but I think that we need to do more in terms of expanding bilateral relations with other countries. So I like the thing that we do with China. So right now, if you want to buy anything from China, you can pay the Chinese company in Naira, not in dollars. And it's happening. I know people that instead of, because before, you would change to dollars, then change back. Now you pay them in Naira in the local bank, and they will take it, because Chinese companies are also coming here, and they also need Naira. So they are now doing the exchange in their country. I think the CBN needs to do a lot more with our major trading partners, the EU. And if you look at trading partners, the top 5 trading partners for us are China, India, EU, US. We have to have a bilateral relationship in terms of currency swaps directly with them that cuts off the need for us to change dollar and change it back to a local currency. We need to expand more on the Pan-African settlement system that enables you to pay your supplier in whatever that we're not even looking at. There's so much trade. I see no reason why, if you go to Kenya, the dominant guys in Kenya are the Chinese. But we have a lot of experience here that we can share with our Kenyan guys on how to get real estate developed. But if you have a payment system that enables you to, transact seamlessly, then you can, explore that. So I think those are the things I would like to explore. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. And I'll take our final question to all the panelists, please. And that's about show me the money, basically, which I've said before, because that's what we're here for. How then can we take advantage of the opportunity presented to us all in the commercial real estate space? So I know we've talked about a lot, but something tells me that each of us has another nugget, some information that would prove useful to us. That's why you're on this panel. We appreciate you for being here. So I will start with ESV. Orimalade, please. Thank you.
Tolu. Consultancy fee here. Anyway, just jokingly, without talking too much, there are opportunities in the commercial retail space. What I would just say to advise, whether you're young or you're old, don't wait for what you call instructions. Don't wait to know someone that has, oh, that's the owner of that building. Sit down, think, look at the development and recognize that that development can actually turn. How can it turn? What is it that is lacking in that development? I'm saying this, I don't want to talk too much. There are too many opportunities. Obina, you are talking about this hotel. I even thought you were going to go somewhere. What I wanted you to say is that it's an hotel. The hotel is real estate. Real estate is one hotel. You're talking about, oh, they're coming in, they're capturing a number of people. The question is, are you fully optimizing this place? Is the mindset such that, it's an hotel, they sleep in rooms, oh, we have hall. It has passed that. It has passed that. So we have to think, how do you sweat every asset you see so that you can create an opportunity? So Tolu, I'm sorry to disappoint you. I think I said enough earlier. I mentioned logistics, but the key thing, people should wake up. The macro policies, I've said I'm not a politician, I know camera is on me. The macro policies shows an up. Yes, it's not trickling down. It shows an up. People are coming in. Oyibos are coming in every day. They're coming more. It's the truth. I have the figures. Stop complaining. Social media. Look, there are opportunities. I'll leave it there.
Thank you very much, sir. Sakimade?
I think I'll expand along the lines of what he's going to say. I'm not going to talk about a specific thing, but everybody in this room, if we were to sort of send the mic round, 80% of the people will have an idea in their mind now about how to make money. The question is, what are you going to do about it this night? Right? Instead of focusing on the country is hard, this, that, and the other, you have to make a decision to do something. And do it afraid. Do it worried, but just do it. Just get up and don't wait to say, it's not ready. The market will make it ready for you. Just start and get on with it. And you'll find that in 6 months' time, you have a better refined product that is more aligned with what the customers want, and you'll be fine. So the single nugget for me is take your idea this night, start doing something about it. In 5 days' time, task yourself to have moved forward, and by the time you get to 1st of January, you are seeing progress in whatever you want to do. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. So Danjuma, Omar?
I think it's a privilege to be here to hear this very important point, and thank you, sirs, for that. But I'll talk about 2 things, and I think these things are practical. First is something about principle, and the second is about how we do business. The principle that we should sort of imbibe going forward, especially for retail, generally commercial real estate, specifically retail, is that of respect. I come from the northern part of the country, and I believe we have some of the richest people in the world. But there is this mentality of, let us go, enjoy it, and come and tell you the gist. We need to get ourselves to a point where we build to respect our locality. People want to feel like when they go to London or New York or Guangzhou, that when they come back home, they have that same experience. And I think for those who imbibe this mentality of respecting their locale, those are the people that will take the gains from tomorrow. And I say tomorrow. That's one principle that I think we should imbibe. The second is about modular expansion. Start small, see that the model works, and scale. And I don't think that model has failed any business anywhere in the world. And in addition to these 2 points, I think that we really should think about the design of real estate in Nigeria. Now, the design not in terms of architecture, but in terms of the business in itself. Sir, you spoke about something very important, that are we fully utilizing this space? Do we really think through our projects? Do we think through the kind of real estate that we build? Today, you have a lot of very beautiful buildings in Ikoyi, VI, and Lekki environs, but only 20% occupied. 70% is empty. It's because somebody hasn't really thought about it. The man from Novari spoke about something very important, that they are introducing kids playing areas in their malls. That is thinking. We have to get ourselves again to the point where we think, where we respect our people, and where we have that mentality of testing, seeing that it works, and then scaling. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Omar. Mr. Ayotunde?
Thank you very much. I think for me, they've covered most of it. I like to give practical examples to make people understand, especially when you look at the topic back to the basics, and the retail and commercial real estate, the road to growth. So what's the road to growth in retail? They're very different demographics of life. You can have an investor who has $40, $50 million to come and invest in Nigeria today. He's in retail. You can have someone who is in a mom and pop shop on the side of the road who is, into just buying and selling. That same person is also into retail. So you must look at the various avenues of life and understand at what point or where do you fall in this growth for real estate, or the road to growth in real estate. And when I talk about practical examples, I like to give my example of 2013 when I joined the retail market, or shall I say the space. I used to work for a company called Broad Property Group. I have a few of my colleagues here. And we started a conversation with a retailer who came on a motorbike, an Okada. He took an Okada to our office and said he has just sold his father's property for 30 million and he wanted to invest in retail. And, we started that conversation back and forth. What sort of business ideas do you have? What can you do? etc. Before he left the office, he decided that he was going to open a barbing salon. I'm not sure if any of you have seen that barbing salon today. The name of barbing salon is Black and White. I hope he doesn't kill me for mentioning this. Anyways, that was his first store, 20 square meters, very small retail footprint. From there, he grew 120, continued to grow. Today, he has over 40 stores across Nigeria. I saw him recently. He's driving one of the biggest cars I've ever seen in my life. The point is, you can grow in anything you're doing, whether it be the small side or the bigger side of things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And finally, Mr. Obina.
Yeah, I think my co-panelists have said a lot. I think my advice would be, it depends on how you want to start. If you're here and you're already big, go on your own. If you're not that big, collaborate with people of like minds. If you're small, it doesn't happen overnight. Start small. If you start small, if you put a 5 million naira and you're doing 10%, in about 10 years, it's worth 30 million naira without lifting a finger, right? And once you start that small, it's always important that you learn from your mistakes. My grandmother tells me that don't beat yourself up. If it happens again and you didn't learn the first time, learn from your mistakes and let those learnings and those scars be part of what builds your resilience as you go further. Integrity is very important. A lot of people put things up on social media. If you dig down deep, they're not. If you give people your word, make sure you keep it. If you keep it, you will get referrals. If you don't keep it, you will not grow as fast, right? Always make sure that you put a structure around what you put your monies in. Your titles, your documentation, everything should be in place. Your approvals, so that if anything happens in future, you get adequate compensation. Do not overreach yourself because Lagos was not built in a day. Take it one transaction, one step at a time. You are still young. You have time to make mistakes and you will grow. But if you want to make the big bucks and you rush it and you make and you might just end up being a flop. Always observe what is around you. There are things happening around you, so don't pay attention to social media, yes, but don't remove the hype. Look within your locality. What can fly in Lagos will not fly in KD, will not fly in J-Town. Look within your locality and find out what are the trends happening around you. What do people need? You may find out that you don't even need to go and be speculating land. I know a young lady, she works, but she has to manage their Airbnb properties. And that does not require her lifting a finger. She's on her phone, booking the thing. And people keep calling her because she's giving them good customer service, make sure the apartment is cleaned up. There are people abroad that have lots of property looking for reliable people to manage it for them, right? So it's something that you can tap into. And by the time you have 2 or 3 properties, you can calculate how much you're making vis-a-vis the percentage. So there's lots of opportunity there. But take your time, get into it, build it slowly, build a structure around it, and then eventually you build your brand.
Thank you so much, Mr. Obina. We've said so much on this panel. I think my summary would be that start before you are ready. Don't wait for instruction. Don't wait for it to be perfect. Do it afraid. Start small. Put in structures. Don't overreach yourself. We said so much today. I want to thank every member of my panel for sharing so much wisdom and nuggets with the audience today. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to moderate this panel. I think that will be all, except we have time for questions. Moderator? Where's our moderator? Do we have questions in the house? Any questions? No? All right, then I think we can bring this panel to a close. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. I think we should take a picture. Imelda, can you join us for pictures, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that insightful panel. I'm sure we all learned a lot and we all left with amazing ideas. I'd like to announce to the speakers, the delegates, our VIPs that there is lunch outside. Please make your way outside to have lunch. And I would like to call on Urban Shelter to give their presentation. They were absent when I called them. Let's have Urban Shelter give their presentation, please. And please, speakers, delegates, panelists, please make your way outside to have your lunch. Lunch is served already.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll try and make this as brief as possible. My name is Olaolu Razak, a sales and marketing executive with Urban Shelter Limited. So I just want to give a brief backstory on my company. We've been in existence since 1991 with operations across Abuja, Kaduna, Niger State, and Lagos, and with other states soon to come on board. What we pride ourselves as a company that we feel that we provide property solutions to everybody across all different stratas, to your high income earners and to your middle income earners. I do want to say low income earners because that would be very, I don't want to be deceitful. So I just say that high income earners and middle income earners. And our property types vary. We do commercial developments, we do residential developments, and we also do service plots for sale. So one thing that also makes us stand out is that our payment structure is quite flexible. Our initial deposits, depending on the projects, we can go as low as 20, 30, 40%. And the payment duration can be as much as 12 to 36 months, depending on what you want. And, our projects are, high quality, top of the industry finishing. And, we also feel that we've contributed greatly to the ongoing discussion of, the housing deficit. We have projects that as many as 200 units, 300 units in Abuja, in Lagos. And I'll stream down to Lagos now because, that's where we currently are. We have an ongoing project at Abraham Adesoya. It's a collaborative project with the Lagos State Ministry of Housing, and that has over 200 housing units. It's a mixture of 1-bedroom apartment, 2-bedroom apartments, and 3-bedroom apartments as well. We also have an upcoming development off Ogombo Road with LSDPC. We have 1-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom apartments, 2-bedroom terraces, and 4-bedroom terraces as well. And of course, the flexible payment options, apply to this as well. Our flagship luxury development in Lagos, which is at Oniru Water Corporation Drive, that property is doing very, very well, top of the class, top of the line finishing and, features and what have you. And that particular project has 1-bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3-bedroom apartments. We also have penthouses there, and we also have 5-bedroom townhouses with a BQ. Yes. So, like I said, we don't just do residential developments. We do commercial developments as well. And our flagship commercial development in Lagos is the redevelopment of the MQ Abiola Market off Agege Ogba Road. So that particular project, we have 5 square meters shop, 10 square meter shops. We have open stores. We have a banking hall. We have warehouses. It's going to be, a modern commercial hub, in that particular area. And, the cheapest, or should I just say, you can key in as low as 7.5 million for the 5 square meter shops, and the initial deposits, we can do 30, 40%. So sometimes you don't necessarily need to break the bank to start your real estate journey. With as low as 2-3 million, you can get your initial deposits and we'll give you, a flexible repayment period. So, that's that about Urban Shelter. We're still very much in the building. So if you have any questions, please feel free to visit our booth behind and, enjoy the rest of the session. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Urban Shelter, for that amazing presentation. We have come to the end of today's program, but you can still please move around for check out the exhibition slots, meet people, network, take pictures, and please post with the hashtag REDA2025. Please note the launch is not for everyone, right? It's just for the speakers and the VIPs. So please note as we go out. Thank you very, very much. My name remains Enifome Ogbimi, and it was a pleasure being your host for today. See you tomorrow.